All righty, boys and girls. Welcome aboard for a special State of the Atmosphere this week. We're going to be doing a season ending review of Andor. In my opinion, the best show that Disney Star Wars has put out to date. I've got a panel of Star Wars fans ready to break it down for you, so let's get started with State of the Atmosphere Andor, Season 1 in review. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. And we've already got a comment in here by Anima Confusa. She said that this show bored the shit out of her and was leaving a like. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Anima. I have to disagree with you. It didn't bore me at all. But Christian is here as well. Good to see you, brother. And let's see. That's Martin saying hi to everybody. But yeah, Anima, all opinions are welcome. I understand it may have bored some people, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. And tonight we're going to break it down, the first season. And I've got some of the biggest Star Wars fans that have ever walked the earth. The biggest one that I know is joining us now. His name is Knock, my co-host for Pregame Party on Sundays. What you doing, man? Oh, you're muted, buddy. You're muted. Let me see.
I just gave you
There you
the answer to world hunger, and no one will ever hear it.
Oh,
So,
man, damn it.
yeah, that's a shame. But no, doing good, doing good.
Okay, and then we
How's it
got
going, Christian?
okay, let me get that off of there real quick. Okay, and then of course we got John Das
Hey,
Wolfen. How you doing, brother?
just fine. I might be the biggest Star Wars fan by mass, but
Oh man, I'm not ever going to go there. I'm not ever going to do that. But I know you're a fan. The reason why I say Knock is the biggest fan, it's because trust me, he read everything that was extended universe. I remember when Disney bought it, he said, "Oh man, I got to do a bunch of homework now because they've thrown out all the canon. I got to look at all this new stuff." And then of course we've got John's running buddy from Pop Culture Minefield, Martin Acosta Santana. What's happening, man?
Hey, everything's fine.
Yeah, man, and he's a big fan too. I know he watches. See, I don't watch much animated stuff, and he was talking about what the Clone Wars. You said you went and saw in a theater or something like that.
yeah, I did too.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Star Wars fan, but I'm not that big a Star Wars fan. I just watch the movies and the stuff they've been doing on Disney Plus. And to round out our panel, we got another fan, and that's Matt from Small Time Republic. How you doing, man?
Hello there. Doing great.
All right. Well, let's get into it. First of all, let's recognize the chat. Of course, Christian's in there, and he says hi to Knock. And Christian likes to watch our pregame too. And the Dork Knight is in here laughing already. And what's he say? Wow, thanks for the invite. Didn't I? Aren't you on the thread, man? You should be on the thread. I didn't. I didn't. I have to see if he's on the thread or not. But anyway, let's see. Let me check that out real quick. I'm pretty sure he's on the thread, but I could be wrong. I might need to add him. Let me just go ahead and get the this here and I'll send it to him real fast. Sorry, guys. I don't want to leave him out if he wants in here.
Oh, that's fine. I got his entrance music queued up.
Do you? Cool,
Yep.
man. Just wait until we get him. Hang on. I'm doing this on a rather small screen because it's up in the corner. Hang on one second.
It's not going to be I'm a Barbie girl, is it?
No.
Let's hope not.
The other day.
Let's hope not. Oh, let's see.
I'm walking on sunshine.
There he is. There he is.
Well, they've got the wrestling show coming up.
Yeah.
Here on
sure.
Pop Culture Minefield.
There you go. It's in the
Dark side of the
DMs
ring.
on Twitter, buddy. I'll have to add you to the thread. I thought I already did it. It must be one of those things where I keep forgetting to do it. I apologize, Big Daddy. But anyway, we are here to talk about, in my opinion, the best thing that Disney Plus has put out so far as far as Star Wars. And it's a shame because there's a lot of people that have given up on Star Wars at this point, and they're missing the best show they've put out so far. In Andor.
I would have left it at Star Wars at anything Disney Plus had done, although they redeemed Marvel a bit with the holiday special with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. I haven't seen it.
Is that out yet? I haven't seen
it.
I haven't had a chance to watch it.
I haven't watched it yet.
Watch it. Go watch it. It's very good.
Is it good? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Christian says, I will learn from you gents. Being a Trekkie, I only first watched the original trilogy back in 1994 at 23.
That's all you really need to watch.
That is all you really need to watch, the original trilogy.
And the holiday special. You got to watch the
holiday special?
Yeah, you have to watch it.
If for nothing else, wiki porn. Yes. But anyway.
VR.
No kidding.
Wiki porn.
Yeah.
Let's see. That Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special made me cry. It was really good. I highly recommend it. Well, I'm planning on watching that.
I plan on watching it. I didn't even know it was out yet. I knew it was a thing. I just didn't know. I figured it would wait till December at least to come out. But I guess not.
I was just glad they were able to say the word Christmas.
Yeah, right. They said Christmas, right?
Glad Disney hasn't banned that.
Was it holiday and all that stuff? Yeah, happy holidays kind of thing.
They did for the Santa Claus, didn't they? Wasn't there a clip in there where Tim Allen mentioned it?
I'm not sure. I'm not into those shows. I mean, the last Christmas movie I really watched was Scrooged, and I watch it every year. The two Christmas movies that I watch every year are Die Hard and Scrooge. So. Yeah,
Die Hard and It's a Wonderful Life and Elf, because my sister makes me watch it whenever I come over there.
You can't help but watch it.
I got to do a Christmas Story every year.
Really?
Yeah, that one too.
And then they actually have the TV series that came out or coming out.
Really?
No, it's a movie. It's called The Christmas Story Christmas.
Yeah, and it's the kid. It's an adult, right?
Yeah, it's already out.
In my house, we started a new tradition when Fat Man came out.
The Fat Man. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I need to see that. The one with Mel Gibson?
Yeah,
man. The Fat Man looked like it was going to be good, but I have not seen that one yet. And you know what? That new one that's out now, Violent Night.
Yeah, that looks...
with the guy from Stranger Things.
I kind of want to see that.
Well, you've seen it. It's at the beginning of Scrooge, man. Only it's Lee Majors showing up to help Santa out. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought of when I saw it with all this gunfire and stuff in it. I was like, this is the night the reindeer died at the beginning of friggin' Scrooge.
I've heard that Violent Night's basically, just a fun, turn your brain off type movie.
Yeah, so, that's what it looks like.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yep.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. And even though John Leguizamo is a complete idiot, he's a good actor, and he should be a great bad guy in it, right? So, yeah. But anyway, we're here to talk about Andor. Let's take a look at the original trailer that came out for Andor. And let me see here. Okay. What's he saying? Sorry to detract. Do you guys see the trailer for Cocaine Bear?
Oh, yeah.
No, I didn't.
No.
I have
no. Cocaine Bear sounds pretty wild. But anyway, this is the trailer we saw, it came out almost a year ago, didn't it?
It was quite a while back.
Hey, we've got bots.
Do we have bots?
Sex bots.
Yep.
Sex bots? Uh-oh. I better pop up the chat because I do not have an admin. So let me see. Can I do it from here? Yeah, block user. There we go. Okay. Did that take care of all of them, guys?
Yeah,
Yep.
looks like
Yeah.
Sure did.
Okay.
I need to get that sound file.
Right? Yeah, you do. You do. The goddamn robots, John.
I'll add it to my list.
But anyway, this is what we got to see about a year ago.
Spies. Saboteurs. Assassins. We've all done terrible things on behalf of the rebellion.
Now this, when he pulled a gun on somebody and fired, I was like, okay. This looked like it was going to have the same kind of dark tone that Rogue One had. And Rogue One, in my opinion, was the best thing that Disney Star Wars has put out since they took over. I mean, it's better than anything in that trilogy, I think.
Which, I mean, that's how his character was introduced in Rogue One. Same way.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He's a guy that doesn't mess around, right? And but yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, we got no sound now.
Yeah, sound's gone away.
The sound's gone away?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was there initially.
Okay. Hang on a second. Let me go ahead and reshare it then, because I probably screwed up some settings. Hey, man, I'm a one-man show, so you have to excuse me. Let's see.
Danny, are you coming or not?
Right? You just going to sit there in the chat and act like a goof or what? Let's see. Stop screen and then reshare. Share screen. Click the button. Yeah, I did change the setting there, so it probably messed it up. Okay. Here we go. You should hear it now.
To die fighting these bastards. Wouldn't you rather give it all at once to something real?
That sounded we're going to get into it. That conversation takes place in the third episode, and it's one of the best parts of the series, if you ask me, when he's talking to him in there. But that's very cool.
We've chosen a side. We're fighting against the dark.
There is an organized rebel effort. Drill down and get a hunt started.
Now this, one thing I dug about this is how many different levels we saw in the story. We had one initial action that happens, and we're going to talk about it by the episode, but it sends ripples throughout the entire Star Wars world, that one incident, and I thought that was pretty neat.
You realize what you set in motion? People will suffer.
Time has come to force their hand.
At what cost?
Everything!
I will watch anything with Stellan Skarsgård in it, dude. The guy is awesome.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
He made this whole show for me, dude. He really did.
Father of the Northman.
I think the scene that you paused on, I didn't like.
Really?
I didn't like that.
We'll get into it. We're going to go into every
we're
episode.
Gonna discuss it later, but I didn't like that scene.
Make a note. Yeah. I remember what scene that was, and it sure seemed like he was. Yeah, we'll get into it because there's a lot of conflicting things there.
Every day we wait, they get stronger.
Let's take them by surprise.
For the greater good. Call it what you will.
Dude, I love the fact that they brought Forrest Whitaker's character into it, because if I remember now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I've only seen Rogue One once or twice, but he was pretty much a mercenary in that show too. He's not
a mercenary. A freedom fighter.
He was a fanatic.
Okay.
He was a rebel fanatic. That's why people weren't wanting to work with him, because he was. That's why the body count was too high.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The soldiers do look a little bit. Fifth Element here.
Yeah. We're gonna get into this, but this is another thing I dug about it. That's not an Imperial troop you're looking at, guys. And by the way, if you're watching this and you don't want to hear spoilers, I'm telling you now, as soon as we're done with this trailer, we're going to be talking about every detail of this show. So if you haven't seen it, get off of here by the time this trailer ends, because we're going to get into it today. Okay?
Let's call it war.
People are standing up. They're afraid. Right now, they're afraid.
Let's go!
Star Wars.
That was pretty cool right there. Yeah. I thought, a lot of people thought this was slow and boring, but I dug the pace of it. I dug the show. I thought it was cool.
Andor 3-episode premiere streaming September 21st.
Every other show that Disney does, 3 episodes in, you're like halfway done with the season.
Yeah.
So it was. This one actually seems like, oh, there's more episodes. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be done after 6, and all of a sudden there's a 7th one, because everything they did for Marvel was 6 episodes. So
even the Star Wars is all 6 to 8 episodes, pretty much.
Yeah, but
10 max.
Yeah, I was hyped after seeing that, because just from the visuals, you could tell it was kind of like the original Star Wars movie. It was not a clean universe. It has been used. It's been around for a long time. It's not, a lot of sci-fi movies are sleek and clean looking. This stuff, you can tell it's been lived in, man. These people have been using this stuff for a long time, But anyway.
If I remember right, this trailer came out after Boba Fett. We'd seen Boba Fett.
Yeah.
So I was cautiously
the people that
optimistic.
stuck with Boba Fett. I quit it after 1 episode.
I watched it all. I
had to watch it all because Mando 2.5. It was.
Oh yeah,
they're in the middle of.
Yeah,
it.
I heard there was an episode in there that was kind of like Mandalorian, an extra episode.
He pretty much takes over the second half of the season. And, yeah,
even
that's a Boba Fett show.
He saved the show.
Even the actor that played Boba Fett, I don't think was satisfied with how he was portrayed in Book of Boba Fett.
No, he wasn't, and he was very vocal about it.
Look, guys, I gave up on it as soon as he didn't kill that representative from the city. When he said to him, they expect tribute from you, I was like, how is this guy still alive right now? Because Boba Fett that I saw in the old trilogy would have killed that dude.
They tried to make him too benevolent, and it's just...
What I saw was an old man trying to get into heaven, man. That's what I saw.
Yeah, that's not what we want. We want Boba Fett.
We want Boba Fett.
The back to tanning bed, basically.
Yeah. He's constantly in that damn thing, isn't he? Oh man. Let's see.
But they have some great cameos in there, though.
He says, Christian says, so I take this show is not woke. It's got some
of those.
We'll get into that when we start the breakdown. But I will tell you this: they have some strong female characters in here, but they're not Mary Sue's. Okay,
No.
They get beat down. They cannot stand up to their male counterparts physically. Yeah, there are lesbians in here. There are lesbians.
I will say this: they are somewhat subtle with that relationship.
Yes, they are.
Yep.
They are.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dork says, I'm picking up my son from school. I have you guys on my phone. Can't really do the live stream thing while I'm driving. Sorry. No problem, bro. It's cool. You guys remind me to double check that thread and make sure Dork's in there, will you?
Yeah. I think he's in that group. Yeah.
I think he is. I think he's just messing with me, man. He likes to mess with me. But anyway, let's take a look at the characters that we're going to meet along the way here in
I honestly don't remember any of their names.
Andor. Well, actually, the only reason why I know their names is because I had to set up a poll in my community forum, and this guy ended up being the favorite, barely over Luthen, which is Stellan Skarsgård's guy, and that's Cassian Andor, the guy it's named after. Now, I found his character. I think he was overshadowed in this series by the supporting cast. Myself, it was like he was It was like he was definitely the pivot point, but it was almost like everything else around him was the more important shit than him. You know what I mean?
It was the Luthen show.
Yeah, that's what it felt like to me. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. But he definitely is a guy that doesn't talk much and lets his actions do the talking, you know. And then we had the guy that I dig, Luthen. This guy right here is something else, man. I dig him. He's awesome. And of course, I love the actor. I mean, you can't go wrong with this guy. Stellan Skarsgård. I've loved him since I saw him in Hunt for Red October, you know, as the captain of a Russian submarine trying to kill his mentor. This guy's a great actor. He's one of the best, you know. I compare him to a modern day Gene Hackman. I mean, anything he's in, he's going to do well at. You know what I mean?
Really good comparison.
Well, that whole family is a family of good actors.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. My wife is in love with his older son. Man, my God, the guy that was on True Blood.
Yeah,
was it Eric? The guy that was in The Northman. Yeah, yeah. And then we've got now this one, Cyril Karn. This guy right here. At first, I thought this guy is a complete dweeb, but it turns out this is just a dude trying to measure up, basically, and you know, and he's trying to play by the rules and all that stuff. He's not really a bad guy, and
he just wants order.
He just wants order. Yeah, that's it. He wants order in the chaos.
He wants the rules. He wants people to abide by them.
He believes in the Empire.
Yeah, but
his obsession is making him starting to break the rules.
He reminds me of a like a security guard that wants to be a police officer.
That's it. That's it exactly, and that's what I was going to talk about. The uniform he's wearing, guys. If you haven't seen the show, he's actually working for a security firm. It's not even part of they're contractors on outlying worlds where the Empire doesn't have resources, and they're contracted by the Empire. And it's pretty cool. It was a neat take on because this is one of the things I dig about this show. You find out that the Empire isn't everywhere, and they can't be everywhere, and they have affiliates and stuff, and they can't see everything. So there's room to maneuver in this world, you know.
By the way, I had assumed this guy was British with that was trying to do an American type accent,
right?
But he's American.
Yeah. Yeah, he did a great job. I thought he was fantastic. Dude, I kept, I told one person, I said, you know what? This guy reminds me of Norman Bates. I just expect him to kill his mother at any second, man. I really do.
Yeah, well, when your mother's the most annoying person in the galaxy,
it would be hard to blame him.
Right? I mean, my God. I kept expecting him. I really did expect him to kill his mother, man. I really did. Okay.
Well, he was a little bit of a caricature in the first, few episodes in terms of. But
then you started rooting for the guy.
In terms of being like, someone who comes in as an officer that doesn't necessarily have the respect of, the grunts yet.
And by the end of the series, you're rooting for him. You want him to clear his name because that's all he's trying to do.
Right.
He's trying to clear his name.
Until for about 8 episodes there, they didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
After the first 3.
Yeah, so they just had him at a desk.
They had him at a desk. He was exiled. I thought this was great that we actually got to see the political side of things and how the rebellion is being funded and everything through Mon Mothma. Or Mothma. I said Mothra. That's my Godzilla fan coming out in me. But Mon Mothma. And I thought they picked a really good actress for it. I was not bored to death with her side of the story. The end of her side of the story is a little bit. I'm wondering what's going on there, but we'll get into that later on.
And I believe she was Mon Mothma in Revenge of the Sith and Rogue One, if I remember correctly.
So. Yes, and Rogue One.
It's the same girl. Okay. Yeah. I just, the only one that tells you how memorable those shows are. But I only remember the one from Return of the Jedi. The one at the briefing. Yeah. But anyway, I loved the political side of things, how she didn't have the perfect family, or her family basically thinks she's a retard and don't want to have anything to do with her. It's really ridiculous, man. But I thought that was a cool character. And then we've got the next tier of characters. starting with we meet this one in the first episode. What was her name again? Let me look that up real quick.
Bix.
That's it. Bix Colleen, I think, is her name. And wow. First of all, gorgeous in my book. I'm a big fan of brunettes, but anyway, that when we get into the episodes, man, she's really a cool character. And there's a scene in one part of this where this is why I say they're not Mary Sue's. If Ray had been put in a situation where she was about to be arrested, she'd have kicked everybody's ass. But this chick gets beat up, and she's probably the one that takes most punishment in the entire show.
Yeah, they literally break her.
Yeah, they do. They break her. Yeah, no doubt. And it's a shame, but hey, it adds a little realism to it. You know what I mean? It's very cool. And then probably the most intriguing character in my book in this show has been this young lady right here, man. What organization does she work for again?
ISB, Internal Security Bureau.
Yeah, that's it. And the character's name, let me see. Let's see. The character's name is
Dedra.
Dedra. That's it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. I mean, she is, and this is another reason why I say we've got a bunch of strong women characters, but she's working in a man's world, and it's obvious. She's getting shut down half the show, but then when she has a breakthrough, her superiors see it, and they're like, okay, we're going to go in a different directions. You're getting some results. Let's see what's going on here,
I think that's one of the things that kind of drew me, because the first 4 or 5 episodes, I did not like this show at all. But then once they started showcasing her more and more of the inner workings of the Empire, that's when I started getting a lot more interested, because you don't get to see how the government functioned,
right,
in the movies and the TV shows, really, and for some of the massive.
But through this character, you get to see how the officer corps works and what they do, and they're just as cutthroat as the top end of the Empire is. Man, these guys are cutting each other's throats trying to get advancement.
Well, the difference is that's the having read
here they
the
come
books,
again. Excuse me.
This is the Internal Security Bureau, the ISB. So that's a little different world than the actual officer corps.
All right, I'm having problems.
I haven't seen any bots pop up yet.
That's weird.
I see the comments.
That
was from 20 minutes ago.
Okay, it may already be blocked. Maybe I'm just seeing it.
I see it, but they haven't come back since.
Okay, let me. Okay, well, I must be seeing. It says it's on YouTube. Okay. Anyway, guys. So that's the characters we're dealing with, the major ones. Now there's some supporting ones. I just wanted to feature those 6 because they were the most intriguing to me in the shows. Who amongst those is your favorite in the show? We'll start with Knock. Who's your favorite character out of those 6?
Well, you didn't even show my favorite character.
Really?
Oh.
Who's your favorite character in this
thing?
Let
me pull them up real quick.
Mine's Luthen.
Go down
Luthen's
the list,
my favorite.
and I'll get back to you.
Is he mechanical, Knock?
No.
Right? But no, yeah, hey, the droid was good. I should have got a picture. The droid has been added to the beginning of the logos.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Go ahead, John. Who's your favorite one?
Well, it's hard for me to pick one because, I love Luthen.
Yeah.
But I like Cassian too, because I think what they did with him, especially going through the prison and seeing his arc about him not wanting anything to do with anything.
No, he was
just being selfish to actually being a believer.
Right.
Is a good arc. But I like his mom.
Yeah. His mom is a good character too. I should have put her up there too. Yeah, we met her, I think was it the first or the second episode?
Yeah, because her and her husband save.
Right. They save him from his home planet.
Yeah, but and see, I spent 3 episodes thinking that Bix was his sister.
Yeah, no,
it wasn't until they said,
he was looking for. Yeah,
yeah. We found out he was looking for. I'm like, wait a second. I thought, oh, I guess not. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Matt, who do you think?
Well, they kind of dropped that whole looking for his sister thing after what beginning of the first episode.
That's one of the things about the series that I was kind of wondering there.
And that's that in the beginning, because that was one of the things I hate flashbacks. I absolutely abhor flashbacks, and that whole thing when they kept going back to his childhood, hated every second of it.
Yeah. I would have to say, Luthen would be my favorite character.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, Martin, who you like?
Luthen.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, Luthen is bomb. And I don't know. Am I the only one that thinks Luthen's a Jedi? Am I the only one?
Yes.
I am?
I don't
Yes, you're the only one.
Pretty much, yeah.
Damn.
Well,
come on, are you serious?
I don't know that ship. I started to wonder after some of those moves.
Come on, bro. Come on now.
No, there's fighter pilots that can do that. That's one of the scenes I didn't care for either. But no, there's God, where the hell is he?
Also, as somebody that is a fan of the expanded universe, I do get a little irritated every time there's another, Jedi that survived, past the purge.
Right. Yeah.
The fewer, the better.
I can
understand just from a storytelling standpoint.
I just have a feeling, man. I have a feeling that guy is a Jedi. I really do.
I really hope they don't go that route.
I do too.
Well, we'll see.
Because this is a series about normal people, and it should
be
stay that way.
It is. It's a series about the war part of it, which is what made Rogue One so good.
Oh, I was so excited because we finally got to see a little Coruscant, the underbelly of Coruscant, the under levels.
Yes.
Because I feel robbed because we didn't get 1313. Which is supposed to be a video game based entirely in the under levels of Coruscant.
Right.
Specifically level 1313.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think there was a canceled video game around that time as well that was
that's
going to.
That's what it is. That's what I'm talking about. 1313 was a video game.
Did you find it? Not.
Yeah, I got it.
Well, let me rephrase it. I think there was a series
remember his
and a
name in
video
the
game
show.
that were both canceled around the same time. Yep.
This is my favorite guy.
Oh yeah, Kino Loy.
Yes, Kino Loy, played by one of the greatest actors ever.
I still hope he survived.
It's led to he has because he's Snoke, but it's
well, he's a physical actor for CGI stuff. I mean, he was Golem in the Lord of the Rings. I mean, he's been doing that for years. But what a great character that was.
That was probably my favorite.
Yeah, we learned that Snoke can't swim.
Right, Snoke can't swim.
That's why they brought him back.
We still don't know what happened to him either.
So if anyone has force powers, Joe, it's Kino. That's the one.
Right? Because he was Snoke. Yeah, that's it. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's certain things like when he. Well, we'll get into it in the episode.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and start looking at the episodes. Okay. Let's see. Episode 1. Hang on a second. Let me bring this up. I gotta move it over. I've got 2 different picture files set up, and I want to make sure I don't want to get confused between the 2 of them. All right. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Episode 1. Long before the mission to secure the Death Star plans made him a hero of the rebellion, a reckless Cassian Andor searches for information about his past. This obsession takes him to the seedy quarters of a world where an encounter with authorities brands Cassian as a wanted criminal. His attempt to lay low on planet Ferrix brings his problems home. So the incident they're talking about here is when he shoots the security guys at the beginning of it.
Yep.
And he's in basically a brothel, and obviously it must be a Monday night. There's nobody in there, but a couple of cops, and one thing leads to another, and he accidentally kills one of them and decides he has to waste the other one just to get away scot-free, right?
Yep.
Exactly. You had to take him out. And I thought that was a great tone setter for the show, man.
Those officers, they effed around and found out is what
They
happened.
effed around and found out. They sure did, man. I thought it was a great tone setter for the show. Really did.
Well,
So
to me,
he goes.
it also showed the whole Big Brother aspect of the show, to where someone's always watching no matter what you do.
Right.
And
Big
you
Brother
can't
is
get away
there.
with anything. Yeah.
Christian says, cutting out, gents, I will skip the spoilers because you guys convinced me to watch this show. Yeah, hey, man, I'm telling you, it's good stuff.
Christian,
it's
stick
good
with
stuff.
it. Trust me.
Yeah.
After first couple episodes, it's really, really slow.
Yeah. It's basically got three segments, and each segment takes a few episodes to climax. And by the end of the show, you'll be invested, man. Trust me. You'll like these characters. They're really good.
Phrasing.
Yeah,
dude. Look, man, Knock will tell you I am the biggest target for that shit. I don't ever pay attention to my phrasing. Him and the guys on our video game used to mess with me all the time for the way I say things.
Well, Joe's never going to mind it if you play an Archer sound clip. Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. But yeah, he gets let's see. But I love slow burns, so this will be great. Yeah, you'll enjoy it, Christian, for sure. Stick with it, man. You'll enjoy it.
12 episodes, so definitely have plenty.
Hey, I have not recommended a Star Wars show yet on this streaming service, but I recommend this one. It is a good show. But you get to see where he's from, his home base of Ferrix, where his mother's at, through the flashbacks that Knock hates. We see that he was from a very primitive race on an unknown planet somewhere, and
I
thought they were survivors.
They
were survivors of an industrial accident. That's there was a big mining colony. There was an accident. The Empire just shuts it down. Don't take anybody off the planet, and all that was left was basically the kids.
Okay.
And the gear.
Yeah. But they had gone native to an extent.
I was fixing to say, if that's the case, they went Lord of the Flies.
Yeah,
that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
they did.
But that also gives you some insight into why Andor is basically, he doesn't talk much. He does, but he's not slow to act either. If he thinks something needs to be done, he does it. Yeah.
And, I will say this. I think Diego Luna's a great actor, but to me, I don't know, there could have been a little more charisma there, but that could just be the character he's playing at the same time.
Could be he's just beaten down by the life he's had. You know what I mean? That could be what we're seeing. Maybe that's the way he's portraying it. But you're right. I thought he could be a little bit more Han Solo-ish, but apparently that's not the character, man.
He
hasn't become
you have to consider how he was in Rogue
Yeah,
One.
that's season 2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right?
No, season 6 is
6. So come on now.
Yeah, because this one is 5
years
years
that description they just read said long before, but you can only stress that so long.
No. This show starts 5 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I did not know that. Where do you get this information? Was it given to you in the show?
Some guy stuck this disc through a door as some guy with a red laser sword was attacking.
Okay.
That's how you got the timeline data.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. I do like. I loved how they introduced you to, and this is part of the slow burn part of it. You meet all these characters, like the guy that he's talking to here, who I don't know the character's name, but he ends up being a son of a bitch. But he's coming off as a friend. The guy I really liked that he knew was the I just call him the radio operator, but he was the guy that he paid to get off to try and get off planet. I think it was. Isn't that what he was doing?
Yeah, I believe so.
I can't remember that guy's name, but he had the hat. I always call him the guy with the hat. But they had some good characters here, and of course, you got to see what is the name of the robot, guys? It escapes
I don't remember.
It was
something like
something.
B2 emo.
Something.
Yes.
Something. B2 emo?
Actually, I think it is.
Yes.
I think that was it. Yes.
Oh, man. But anyway, that was pretty cool.
That little robot has more real emotions than Daisy Ridley did.
That's for sure.
Entire series.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. So we got introduced to everything. I can't even remember how this one ended, but basically he's on the run for. Well, yes, I do know how it ended. We got introduced to Cyril Karn in this one too, and he was basically being shut down by his superiors, saying, "Nah, we don't want any bullshit going on." And
well, he was right. Yeah.
And yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. So
actually, I would argue that the superior was right.
That's what I'm arguing is
that's
right.
what he's saying.
Okay. No, yeah,
because
he,
right.
he wanted to keep it quiet so the Empire wouldn't take over.
Right.
Yeah, I would compare it to when you let's say you have a work situation where, let's say you're the boss and you have an employee, and they come to you and they say, "I'm finding where this other department isn't doing what they should be doing. Should I raise a stink about it?" Sometimes the answer is, nah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Just it'd be all right. It'd be all right. Right. These guys, basically, the boss was saying these two guys effed around, found out. Let's just leave it at that.
Leave it up to death by misadventure.
Yeah, there you go. That was it. Okay, so we get into episode 2. Where's my menu at? There it is. Okay, so in episode 2, it says Cassian scrambles to settle his affairs on Ferrix with friends and family as tactical forces close in on him. Led by an obsessed agent driven to preserve law and order, meanwhile, a mysterious man with eyes on Cassian arrives on the planet. And the mysterious guy ends up being Luthen. But yeah, this one was a pretty good episode. It has some cool stuff in it. Let me see. I think I had a couple of graphics on this one. Let me see. Bum, bum, bum. Oh yeah. My girl. This one here. Yeah, we find out some stuff about her and her boyfriend, and this is
jealous boyfriend.
Her jealous boyfriend. Bitch boyfriend. That guy pissed me off. He made me so mad, man. He really did. Because she wasn't messing around on him. She was just friends with the guy, trying to help him out,
Yeah.
But just the occasional late night, get-togethers. That's all. Nothing to be suspicious of.
I mean, she's a 10 on Ferrix, so I mean, the guy.
Yeah, she is a 10 on Ferrix. So you can see guys going to war over this chick, no doubt about it.
Hear me out. If you think your girlfriend is on the side, you don't do the shit that he does. You just dump her.
Just dump her. I've got 2 ex-wives that just got dumped.
That doesn't fit the narrative, so we need to.
No.
We need a bitch in this slot.
Right.
Okay, all
right. We need that guy in order to call the authorities. So
we need him to be a bitch.
Here. Come on now.
But yeah, he gets what's coming to him. I think it's in the next episode. But he ends up narking out friggin' Cassian, man. And by the end of the episode, our boy Cyril, who is now in charge, and because he got his boss screwed over. Now explain that one, guys. I can't remember exactly how that transpired, but I can't remember if he narked on his boss or what happened.
No. He went with the other guy.
Yeah.
To make that investigation, and everything got tits up, and
that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so this one basically it was more flashbacks that Knock can't stand, and I think this is the one where pretty sure he got saved by his mother, as he calls her. On the planet he was at as a youngster, and basically he's trying to find a buyer for a piece of tech, and Bix is helping him get a buyer there, so he can get off the planet and get the hell out of there. Is what he's doing basically. He's just trying to survive, because Andor, you know, and this is just my perspective of it. He sure seems like a combat vet that can't deal with the real world. That's what he seems like to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. He doesn't have time for bullshit. When people cross him, he's not gonna lay down for it. That's for damn sure. You know.
Well, one thing I'll say about this show, just the tone of it, more so than anything else that Disney Star Wars has done, is I've read some of the West End Games materials that are from back in the '90s, like where they had like short stories mixed in with their RPG stuff,
right?
And a lot of this feels like the short stories that I would, that were written in the '90s that that were Star Wars related. So that to me, that's one feather in its cap. That the fact that they were willing to take the time to flesh things out like that.
Yeah,
and I thought that was a good aspect of it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We never did find the sister though.
Do what, man?
Yeah.
We never did find the sister.
No,
that'll carry over to season 2.
Well, that's
season
because,
2.
Well, I think maybe, but I think the whole point because they said that she, his adopted mother said no, she's dead. There's no way she got off that planet.
Oh, nobody believed her.
Something tells me if this goes on for a few years, she's going to pop up. Yeah, she's going to pop up. You know that they left that dangling in the ether out there to draw on. But anyway, this episode is really. It was filler mostly, but you got to see insight into some of the characters that you liked, and we definitely found out that her boyfriend is a bitch. That's for sure. No doubt. We found out about that.
The second episode being a little bit slow, that to me that explains why they aired the first 3 the same day.
Yeah, I thought for sure after seeing it, I thought maybe that if they'd shown it one episode at a time, they might have lost their audience. You're absolutely correct. Yeah. Because the third episode, we actually get some. It's one of my favorite episodes of the show. Let's get the menu up there.
And I do agree with you about Cassian being like a combat vet.
Yeah,
because it's all trauma extended from his childhood.
Yeah, exactly. He's suffering from PTSD, and that may be why the actor dulls his emotions a lot during the show. Because he is a good actor. I like the kid. I think he's been good in just about everything I've seen him in.
Emote more in other roles. So
exactly.
I think part of it was by choice.
Yeah.
Well, and he does start emoting towards the end when he's finally had enough.
Oh yeah, he does. Yes, he does. In part 3, in episode 3, the Cordon Titans, as tactical troops close in on their target, the fugitive Cassian Andor. Desperate to evade arrest, Cassian makes contact with a mysterious yet well-connected man who could supply him with money and a means off-world, and perhaps a whole new direction in life. This one I loved. It's got my favorite line of the whole damn show in it. But let's take it from the top. He is trying to get set up with the man in the hat to get the hell off planet, and he's juggling. He's juggling stuff. He's getting that set up, and he's got to meet this guy he doesn't even know if he can trust him to sell this piece of tech so he can get the hell off the planet because he knows he's in trouble and he knows they're coming after him. And then we have the meeting in what was that place? Did they say what it was?
It was like a parts warehouse or
the whole place looked like a salvage yard to me. The whole place that they were working.
It was a death trap. That's what it was. It was a death trap.
I was fixing to say once the shooting started, hell yeah, it was a death trap. When I saw those things falling down, I was like, oh my god, man. But anyway, let me pull up these pictures I got from that one. Let's see. Yeah, that's not the one I want to show first. Okay, here it is right here. I love this one here because the guy that's working with him is gung-ho as all get out. He's on board with everything he's doing, man. I don't know what that character's name is, but I'm just going to call him the first sergeant. His first sergeant is raring to go, and he's leading. It's kind of like, I don't know if you heard me and Gary talking about butter bars the other day, brand new lieutenants. He's the brand new lieutenant, and this guy's the first sergeant, and everybody's following him, man.
Well, he's like the cop that wanted to be like an FBI agent or something.
Right.
He wanted to be, or the mall cop that wanted to be an actual cop.
Right. And like I said earlier, guys, for those that you that are sticking around that haven't seen the show or watching this on a replay, these guys are not Imperial troops. These guys are contractors. They're security contractors working for the Empire on this outer world. Yeah. Of Ferrix. And
rent-a-cops.
Yeah, they're rent-a-cops. That's what they are. They're the guys you see at the security gate, at the storage yard or something like that. You know what I mean? But they're taking it serious. They want to go get this guy because this guy's taking it personally because two of their people got killed, and he wants answers. And it's really cool, man. I thought it was really cool to see that side of it, that they were actually much like the Iraq War. We contracted guys to go and take care of certain security things. It wasn't U.S. troops doing it. Blackwater, for instance, was working over there and stuff like that. So, yeah, I thought it was really cool. But the incident that happens in this show brings the Empire right there in force. Of course, we have Luthen show up, and there is a big firefight. But my favorite line of the whole damn show is when, he starts letting Cassian know, I'm really here for you. I'm not really after this part. I'll take it if that's all I get, but I'm really here for you. Don't want to see your talents wasted. He knows about the guy, and he thinks he can use him. And Cassian gets really paranoid, and he puts the gun in his face, and Luthen looks at him and goes, don't you want to fight these bastards for real? Yeah. That's my favorite line of the whole damn show. I'm like, yeah, now we're going to see some of the war that's going on in Star Wars, and that's one of the things I loved about Rogue One, man. We got to see the war of it, the part where there was actual conflict going on between the rebellion and the Empire.
And in this, we don't get any CGI Tarkin at any point in any of the 12 episodes.
No, none of that. Now, let me ask you something, though.
We don't get it
Isn't
yet.
Tarkin in this, though? They have an actor that looks a lot like him in here.
It's not Tarkin.
It's not Tarkin.
It does look like him, but yeah.
It sure looks like him, though.
I don't think he was ever ISB.
Okay.
No, he wasn't.
No, he was a Grand
This
Moff.
guy wasn't ISB.
Yeah.
He's wearing a gray tunic. So, and Tarkin wore a gray tunic. I'm gonna have to look into that and see if
there's a bunch of different Moffs. So,
right.
Yeah, he was probably the Moff for the sector.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, the actor they chose though looked a lot like him. Really did.
Yeah. No, it would have been a lot bigger news if it was Tarkin.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, anyway, we ended up with this huge firefight, and of course, let's see, where is it? Because I love this visual. Hell, it's the backdrop of my damn screen tonight. Because first of all, my favorite Star Wars movie is Return of the Jedi because of the forest scene, and I dug it when they were hauling ass on this thing at the end of it, man. That was cool as hell, man. And I just dug this episode, man, and they end up getting away, but it's really neat the way they get away. I'll let you guys detail it if you want to, but
I don't want
man,
to
those things that were raining down inside, they look like friggin' huge engine blocks, and I was like,
yeah.
My God, how are they going to make it out of there? That's crazy, With that alone makes me. I'm telling you, this guy, if he's not a Jedi, he knows something about the Force, because there's one point where he's getting searched and he pulls something out that looks a lot like a friggin' lightsaber. Okay. You remember?
Yeah, I thought that initially too, but I'm like, oh, that can't be that's not going to be a lightsaber. No,
Joe, they're just trying to troll you.
They are trolling me, man. They're trolling me. Oh man. But anyway, that was a great episode. I love it.
It'd be less a lightsaber, more a light truncheon.
Mm-hmm.
A lightsaber.
Yeah. But he recruits him to basically rip off the payroll. It's basically a bank robbery. He's hooked him into, man. It's basically you might even say it's a train robbery, you know, from
It's a
the old
heist
west
movie.
or something. Yeah, it's a heist
It is
movie.
a
all of
train
sudden.
robbery.
Yeah, a proper bank robbery, right? So let's see. Let me get back to my menu. Okay. We're up to episode 4. And you guys stop me and focus in on anything you want during this time now. But I really dig episode 3. That whole part where he's letting him know, hey, that I am here to recruit you to a battle that's bigger than us. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I love that whole thing. Okay, so episode 4, out of opinions, or excuse me, out of options, excuse me. Cassian joins a mission to infiltrate an Imperial garrison on Aldhani. Is that how you pronounce it?
Aldhani.
Yeah. Meanwhile, on the city-covered capital world of Coruscant, agents of the Imperial Security Bureau, the ISB, start to piece together information regarding the disturbance on Ferrix, while Senator Mon Mothma, I had to pronounce it correctly. I was about to do it again. Carefully maneuvers webs of intrigue. Now, this is where we get into the financing of the rebellion, basically. How they're getting things done. I believe this is the first episode where we see my man Luthen with the wig on, right?
Yes.
Isn't that this one? That's when we first meet Mon Mothma, and yeah, then we got the questioning of this guy and his pretty much exile after the incident, right? Where he ended up working for the Time Bureau or something at a desk.
Everybody got fired. Everyone.
Pretty much, they all got fired.
They gave him the whole, when Office Space when they put Milton in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Pretty much, man. Pretty much.
Well, yeah, that job is some uncle of his got him that job. It wasn't that the Empire gave it to him. It's like, no, he was fired and he had to go home to mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my God, his mother. Oh, this dude is henpecked, boys and girls. Oh my God. It's horrible. He is in hell. They're showing him every day at breakfast.
He is Norman Bates.
He is Norman Bates. His mama's just all over him. But she's not all over him. It's not like she's yelling at him or anything. She's just so passive aggressive with him. It's not even funny, man. She beats him down mentally.
Every second of every scene she's in, I'm thinking, when is this scene over?
Yeah.
When can we move on past this?
When can we get past this? But it's there for a reason. You start feeling for this guy. Like I said, if he'd have got up and slashed her throat, I'd have been applauding. Really,
Well, I don't know applauding, but I wouldn't blame him.
Yeah, you wouldn't blame him. Yeah,
I'd be like, I think it's a little much, but I get it.
I get it. I can understand where you coming from, man. But yeah, this poor guy, he gets put in exile. Basically, we don't see him again for a while.
They could have at least played like the Muzak version of the music from Psycho,
right?
Like the copyright-free version. Yeah,
because that's what he is. He's Norman Bates, man.
Yeah.
The elevator music.
Yeah, right.
But
change it up a little bit. Yeah.
The things that I thought were cool was first of all, we meet the blonde that's in ISB. Deidre, is that right?
Deidre.
And she and this guy are oil and water. That's just all there is to it. They don't like each other, and that's pretty obvious. This guy has no respect for her. That's for damn sure. None.
What the interesting thing about the Deidre character is there's a guy in the ISB that she interacts with that has dark hair that looks like the male version of her in the face. It's kind of eerie.
Yeah.
It's how just facial features. There's a guy in there that looks like her.
Right.
I always thought that it was kind of threw me off when I saw those scenes.
Yeah. But the other thing I dug was he ends up with a group that's training on what planet was it that it said?
Aldani.
Aldani.
Did we find out about the ritual that's coming up this episode? I think that's another episode.
That's the next episode when they.
Yeah, but I think he initially meets the group that they're with, and that's when the friction starts. The blonde, I can't remember that character's name, that's running the show. Nobody trusts this guy. And let me see what that girl's name is. Where is she? No, Cynthia Cass is her girlfriend. Where is she?
I think at some point in season 2, you're going to see her confront Andor. I think that's
the blonde.
That's coming. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know because she wasn't too keen on what Luthen had planned for him later.
I was going to say her issue's probably more with Luthen than with Andor.
Yeah,
I would think, because she, she understood this guy was a merc from the get-go. She knew everything, and well, as much as Luthen would tell her. That's why I say I think it's the issue's more with Luthen, but yeah, these guys do not trust him because they know they're going into something that much like combat veterans, you got to be able to trust each other to go on a mission, and they don't know this guy from Adam. They just got thrown in out of nowhere.
You find out later why from who she is, on why she wouldn't. Yeah, she would have issues with Luthen not cutting her in on what's going on.
Yeah, but and we'll get more into it in the next episode. But this is setting up the next block of the story where they're getting ready for this big mission to actually help fund the rebellion. They're going to steal an entire what size unit did they say it was?
A
garrison size unit, get their payroll, right? And
I thought it was a sector.
80 million.
It was a sector payroll.
Sector payroll. So we're talking huge. It's a huge amount. Yeah.
It's just the garrison was guarding it.
Right. There's a garrison guarding it. But anyway, this was, like I said, there are some episodes. I understand why Anima would be, thinking it's too slow, that kind of thing. But I really like storytelling like this as long as it's not too slow. And I didn't think it was too slow. But I'm kind of with Knock. The flashbacks, if they had too much of it, I thought they could have told that in one flashback. I think
I definitely think this could have been 10 episodes as opposed to 12.
Yeah, there was a little bit too much filler, but
they could have made a whole episode about young Cassian on the planet, and then they show him grown up now.
Right.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thing with the flashback is they were hinting at another atrocity of the Empire.
Right. Yeah, because that's what's coming, right? Yeah. Let's see. In episode 5, being a team player does not come naturally to Cassian. Well, of course it doesn't. He's a solo act, right? But the daring mission to infiltrate an Imperial garrison requires it of him. The operation has been in the planning stages for months. As the newest member of the mission, Cassian must overcome the prudent distrust of the teammates. So we get more into the fact that they don't trust this guy,
right?
In this episode. And one thing I dug about it, and this is probably just the old man talking, but there was a movie back in the day. Well, this kind of reminded me of a lot of World War II movies where there were people trying to infiltrate behind the lines, like in France or something. It really reminded me of Force 10 from Navarone, if you remember that one with Harrison Ford in it and Robert Shaw, where they had to interact with local spies and things like that. That's exactly what I thought of when I saw this, because when that Imperial guy showed up, questioning who is this dude and all this good stuff, and the blonde with the limited knowledge she had to defend him. You know,
Yeah.
And I mean, they're just all in a pickle. All these characters are. I mean, you know.
Well, they think he's a true believer because that's the way Luthien sold it to her, but without telling him that he gave him this
mercenary.
Yeah, that he's a mercenary because
he's a mercenary.
He was paid with a
it's some kind of gem, right?
No, it's a kyber crystal.
Crystal.
Which is what's in a lightsaber.
Yeah, but that's not his payment. That is
it was
collateral.
Collateral. Yeah, that's not the payment. Yeah,
but that feeds Joe's theory.
Yeah,
even more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't think about it being a kyber crystal, but yeah, it's the same kind of crystal that.
I'm just saying. Just saying.
God damn it, Joe!
It was raining engine parts on them, and they got out of there. I'm just saying. Just saying. Okay.
Better lucky
anyway,
than good.
That's what this reminded me of. It reminded me of World War II, behind the lines, infiltrating, trying to get things done, and I thought it was really cool, man. I really dug this part of the show. Now,
by the way,
like
the
I
guy
said,
on the
it
left,
could be the old man talking, but that's what I saw when I saw this.
The guy on the left drove me crazy. Just
yeah.
But
he's the guy. He's the guy that got the answers. He's the one that did the digging. He might drive you crazy, but he was a true believer that wanted to get shit done and didn't trust him as far as it could throw him. And he was going to find out what was up, right? Because he wasn't buying what the blonde was feeding him, right?
And the blonde wasn't happy because Cassian was hitting on blonde Mothma's girlfriend there.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, this show, this particular episode, I really enjoyed. I loved it when he lost his mind about, you people don't know how this works. Remember when they were in the planning stages, and he said, "You don't know how to do this. What?
You don't know how to work.
We're screwed. What are you doing?
And that was a nice model they had,
right? It looked like they put a lot of work into that.
Yeah. He's like, what if I wasn't here?
Right? What if I wasn't here? You people would be screwed.
Yeah. They should have made that model a little more rough around the edges, a little less polished looking.
Right.
They're out in the middle of nowhere,
They're out in the middle of nowhere and got the perfect 3D printer, right? Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Well, I think the autistic kid, I think he carved it because he was up there.
Yeah,
that's true.
He was up there studying it for months.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was pretty talented.
That's plausible.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But that's what I saw here. I saw it looked like it comes straight out of World War II, especially when they were running for cover when they hear TIE fighters coming and stuff. It was really cool. I enjoyed the hell out of it, man. Anything else we want to cover in this episode?
I'm still up to the point where I didn't like the show. So
really?
We haven't reached where I started actually liking the show yet.
Really? Wow. Well, so let's move on to episode 6 and see what's going on in that one. Yeah, I think this is where they actually rip the place off. I think it may not be.
Yeah,
we'll read the summary. We'll read the summary. It says, colorful local ceremonies and a spectacular meteorological light show serve as cover for Cassian Andor and the team to infiltrators who push forward on the mission to infiltrate a heavily fortified Imperial garrison. Yeah, this is where they actually.
I thought it was really funny that they had the target practice up at the ceremonial section.
Yeah, that's good.
I think that was in the previous episode, but yeah, that was
mm-hmm.
Get rid of these,
cool. Right? What the hell are you doing?
Yeah. Well, we forgot to mention the previous episode. There's a Imperial lieutenant that's working with them.
Oh, I did mention it.
Yeah.
Remember, I said he didn't trust Andor as far as he could throw him when he showed up. He was like, "Who is this?"
I thought you were talking about
the guy on the way to the left.
No,
that's who I thought you were talking about.
The Imperial officer when he showed up.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes,
I missed that part. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I don't remember that at all. I think you're going crazy.
I think you're full of it. Because
I believe that you believe you were thinking that. That's not what we were thinking.
Yeah, you talk about him. You talk about him, but you didn't say he was an Imperial officer.
Yeah,
okay.
We thought you were talking about the guy in this picture, all the way to the left, the one that
I said Imperial officer.
No, you didn't. You did. You
Okay,
definitely did not.
whatever.
We have it on video.
Okay,
Anyway,
sure thing.
Do I need to throw the red flag?
No, you don't. You don't. I'm an old man. I'm sure I
Instant
fucked it up
replay.
somehow. But
Okay,
anyway, yeah, I
there's one
thought
thing-
this
There's
whole
one thing I
thing
want to
was
call
cool.
into question right here that I remember when I watched the episode. Would that be regulation for them to have the rifles pointed in opposite directions like that?
At
No, they
each other?
should be. They should be on the others. They should be flipped.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where
they
they're
should not be pointing at each other's legs. No.
Yeah, that would not be good.
That
No.
bothered me at the time, and yeah. So I'm glad
At
I'm not
least
the only
they're-
one that.
What
At least
bothered
they're
me
not.
is that Andor didn't shave. That bothered the shit out of me.
but Andor points that out. They say we are badly distributed in this formation.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He even tried to fix it, and it's still like, okay, you're still pointing at each other. So I don't
Yeah.
At least they're not fingering the trigger guard.
At least we're not fingering the trigger. Yes, absolutely. Gary'd be mad at them if they did that. But yeah, this is when they actually go through with it. Now, what was they were going to abort if they couldn't get a certain thing done. I don't remember what it was. What was it, guys?
They didn't get the signal.
Yeah, they didn't get a signal from the girls because they went underwater.
Right, but there was
and were
something
climbing.
that had to happen for her to give the go sign.
Yeah, because they went and they basically hooked something up that jammed their communication, so they couldn't
That's
call
it.
for help.
I couldn't remember what it was. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And I remember they were sweating and they went in there and the main thing they were saying was act like you're supposed to be here. That's all you got to do, you know? I thought it was great, man. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
But I knew that they were going to get caught when they got in there and they started, didn't they take the commander's wife hostage? Isn't that what they did?
It was the commander and the
commander of the garrison.
The commander of the garrison and the inspector that was there.
Yeah.
That was there for the ceremony, which was this whole thing it's like apparently the planet goes through a like Earth goes through a cometary path. Right. And there's this huge meteor shower
or something they call
it. Yeah,
it.
but it's weird because the way it does it's like all these meteors hit, but there's like a center where there's nothing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they put that one guy to work. One of the guys they kidnapped. Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Tell them, or we're gonna have to waste them. But yeah, and then the shootout commences, and I think the part that got me was when they were escaping. They got it loaded. They were escaping, and
well, the black guy gets killed first.
Right. Yeah, he did. But the one that got me was the autistic kid. When that thing rolled back on him inside the ship, when they were trying to evade the TIE fighters, and that was a shame. Did he live? I know they took him somewhere to see a doctor.
Well, they took it. Okay, the next episode. We'll get to that in the next episode.
Okay.
So that's when this whole escape happens. They actually end up dodging through the meteor shower, and the TIE fighters chasing them get blown up.
Yeah.
Which I think it was by design that they made their escape during the meteor shower.
They were actually late. And they weren't meant to go through it. They were meant to get just before it started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they were late in their scheduling, so they ended up having to go through.
That was going to be the barrier that made sure nobody followed them. Yeah.
But then,
yeah.
But TIE fighters are apparently
they ended up having to fly right through it. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a cool episode, man. I thought I'll tell you one thing I thought was cool. You got a little bit of an insight into what the Empire thinks of the locals on these planets, because they were just they were making fun of these people, just saying,
and this is going to probably be like the last festival they let them do.
Well, that's because they were getting the whole reason the inspector was there was because they're getting ready to expand that base into a bigger base for the Outer Rim.
Right, and they were going to move these people out of there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yep. Wasn't that what it was? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was a good episode. I thought it was pretty cool. Okay, let's see. Into which one are we at now? 7?
Yep.
Episode 7. Let's see what's going on with it.
So this is the episode that redeemed it for me.
Okay, all right. Well, let's check this out then. We got the fallout from Aldani heist is swift and seismic, shaking the Imperial Security Bureau on Coruscant into action and prompting more intrigue with Senator Mon Mothma. Meanwhile, Cassian Andor returns home to find a much changed Ferrix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that seeing that again, now I remember they actually did see the Doctor at the end of last episode.
Yeah, that's what I. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
just
wrong.
couldn't remember if he lived or not. I could not remember.
That's the whole point. He dies. They take the kid to the doctor. Andor and Skeezy guy, the nervous guy that doesn't like Andor, are all sitting outside. They've got the heist. They've got all the money. The only people left are him, the autistic kid who's hurt, and the two girls.
Mm-hmm.
No, the two girls are left on the planet, but it's
no, they're with them.
No,
Well,
are they?
Cinta, no, not Cinta, but the blonde chick is with there.
Yeah, the blonde chick went. Yeah, the blonde chick went with her. The Indian girl, she stayed.
Yeah, in fact, she's with the kid and the medic.
Yeah.
The blonde went to Coruscant, didn't she?
Yeah. That's right. She went
right after that. Yeah.
But what had happened is the Skeezy guy tells Andor, "Hey, we could just take off and cut them out." So Andor kills them.
Yeah.
Well, and I think Andor killed him knowing that, hey, this guy's going to try to kill me at some point.
Yeah.
As soon as he heard he's ready to backstab somebody.
Yeah. And he goes in to check that.
Yeah.
He goes in to check on the kid, and the kid's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells her, "Look," he asks the guy how much he wants for his ship, and Andor tells him, "Look, I'm just going to take my cut. I'll leave you here with the ship. I'm just going to buy this ship, take my cut, and just go.
Yep.
I'm done with this. I don't want any part of the rebellion or anything."
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Well, when they say it's much changed, you see why. The Imperials have arrived and they are checking some stuff out because they have. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, all through these episodes, some of the things that we're kind of skipping over, and we're going to skip over some stuff because we're really highlighting the stuff we really liked about these episodes or something we didn't like. One of the things the ISB has been doing, one of their, Deidre, or her character, has decided the best way to find out who these people are is to follow the money, basically, and look into stolen Imperial tech. And it has led them straight back to Ferrix. So I can't remember. I don't think they're looking for Andor yet. I don't.
Yeah, they are.
Are they at this point?
They were looking for
his name has been put out there.
Yeah, they've been looking for Andor or for Cassian since the beginning, because remember that's why the guy turned him in, because when they had
because of the first death. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when the Rent-A-Cops showed up and they weren't gonna, their uppers weren't gonna do anything, and they got all the shit. But
this is what I'm asking, John.
Okay.
When did the ISB start looking for him? Because I know at some point he becomes the focus for them.
Yeah, when they realize what's going on about the trade and stuff, that this is obviously not necessarily.
It's right around now that they start looking for him, right?
Yeah.
The ISB. I'm not talking about the Rent-A-Cops.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Ferrix has changed, and he wants to take his mother out of there, and she's not leaving.
Nope.
That's
when you find out she's
already involved in it. She's already working for the rebellion, and
so Spix.
Mm-hmm. And Andor was clueless to this and finds out about it. And he's like, "You guys are crazy. I'm getting the hell out of here."
And she may have even realized at that point, health-wise, that she couldn't leave.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But of course, he's not all in yet. He's getting there, but he's not all in yet. He doesn't really get it all in until the next segment of the story, which is where he's leading to.
Actually, he's not all in until after his mom dies.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's the whole arc, really. But I think the next part that he's headed towards is what really gets him in there.
By the way, this episode is when our goofy little lieutenant is starting his desk job.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had been sidelined, and we finally got back to him. Norman Bates and his mother at the hotel. Yeah. Now I can't remember how he got that job, but
his uncle.
that's right. His uncle
His
got
mom.
him.
Yeah, his uncle. At the request of his mom.
She was acting like an Italian mom about, hey, the uncle can get you this job.
But correct me if I'm wrong. When he first
family.
meets his boss, he actually tells him what he wants to do, that he's trying to clear his name. And the boss goes, okay, well, let's start today. And this is where you're going to start, and he gives him he puts baby in the corner. He sits him down at the table and, there you go. You're going to do this mindless work. You do what you got to on the side, but this is your gig right here.
Basically, he's in the imperial equivalent of the weights and measures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The logistics side of things.
Yeah.
He gets told to stay in his lane.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Sort of like Winston at the beginning of 1984, if you've ever.
And the guy is so defeated, but he doesn't give up, man. He doesn't give up. He keeps his ears open. But he looks so defeated, man. It's horrible. I felt
By the way, just
for
kind
the
of
guy.
a miscellaneous thing, doesn't relate to anything we were just talking about, but Mon Mothma, does anybody else get the vibe that her and her husband had an arranged marriage?
Yes, absolutely.
Like I
said, we're gonna
not a vibe.
Some of this kind of, some of this is going on.
That's the Aldovai way or whatever it is.
Yeah,
it's like a C plot later on too.
I think I mentioned now. I am the old
man.
It
comes into play with her
thinks
daughter.
He's
I just
saying things he's not saying, like
was,
Knox says. But I think I mentioned at the beginning of the show that her family thinks she's an idiot. They don't really pay attention to her.
Yeah.
She tries to do family things with them, and they don't want nothing to do with her.
The daughter's a daddy's girl.
Yeah. And
by the way, one thing that hasn't been mentioned with Mon Mothma is that she's being watched this entire time by her driver.
Yes, she is, by her driver,
and she suspected it.
Yep. Yeah.
Or she assumed that he could.
No, she knows. She
knows. There's a scene later on, and I think it's my favorite episode 11. A lot of shit happened from that.
Yeah, this is better.
And we'll get to it when we get there. But she knows she's being watched. She knows.
And they had that conversation with Luthen in previous chapters. The Senate changed my driver and put me a spy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She could have hammed it up a little bit with the driver. If she suspected him of listening, saying something like, those rebel scum. I hate them. I wish they would rot.
Well, see, that's the problem, though. That wouldn't fit with the way she actually acts in the Senate,
exactly,
because she's the bleeding heart liberal. We got bots.
Got it. Boom. They're going.
I think she managed the driver thing on point.
Yeah.
Yeah. She wasn't obvious, and I'm gonna. Well, I'll mention it now. It doesn't matter when I mention it. In episode 11, she basically sets up her husband.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She does that in front of him on purpose. I can almost guarantee it, because the way he was acting like he wasn't even gambling anymore. And she was just like, don't lie to me.
He's a playboy.
Yeah, and I think she did all of that for the driver to hear it. She's setting him up for the financial thing that's coming, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But so and the whole financial thing, she's been diverting her personal finances and stuff and money she has access to,
right,
to rebel causes. And she's been doing that this whole time under the guise of the typical liberal
foundations,
bleeding heart foundations and stuff. And she's in the Senate railing against imperial oversight and this bill and this bill, and nobody wants to listen to it.
Yep.
Because they actually walk away from her speeches in the Senate, trying to get these bills
into the Patriot
passed.
Act. If you remember, they're all into it. Hey, we've got security. We've got order. Yeah, we're good.
Well, and also the fact that the Senate, that they seem just sort of blasé and just like they're phoning it in. To me, that's a great setup to show how the Senate had lost power from 14 years prior. In Revenge of the Sith, how it's just been slowly becoming more irrelevant.
Mm-hmm. So he finds out Mom's not coming with him, so he's going to get lost, and he ends up on looks like a resort planet is what it looks like to me.
Yep.
And he gets, man, all I could do was laugh when he got arrested. Oh my God. I'm pretty sure it's at the end of this episode he gets arrested, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Arrested, convicted.
Yeah.
Exactly. That quick,
It's like a 6-month sentence, but they give him 6 years.
Yeah. It used to, she said it used to be a 6-month sentence.
Yeah, they literally just changed it.
Just changed
mainly
it right
because
before
of the
he got
events
arrested.
Mainly because of the events that he, perpetrated.
So to set this up, somebody's being chased by the authorities. He just happens to be there.
Yep.
When they're running by, and one of the mechanical, actually, it ends up being one of those droids that he actually is partners with in Rogue One, right?
Yeah.
Isn't what those robots are? And I can't remember what kind of droid it is, guys. I'm not that big of a geek for this stuff. But what did you say?
Yeah,
Martin?
too many droids now. I don't know.
Yeah, right. But anyway, they yank him up. They think he's one of the guys running. He's like, wait a minute. He gets totally railroaded after ripping off an entire sector's payroll and getting away with it. He gets yanked up because some dudes got drunk in a bar and ran from the cops.
Yeah, he's hooked up with this girl, and he's staying with this girl, and he hides his money and stuff in the most obvious place in the world. And then later on, when he sneaks back in and somebody else is living there, some aliens are living there, to sneaks in to get his money. It's still there.
That was weak. That was weak.
It was.
Well, at least there were aliens there. Part of the criticism of the show prior to that was, where are the aliens? Well, there's your aliens.
Well, all I know is I thought it was hilarious, that whole scene where he got convicted. Yep. I laughed my ass off. I was like, this dude has gotten away with more shit than you can shake a stick at, and he gets friggin' arrested on a resort city. It's like going to Tijuana, getting thrown in a Mexican jail, right, Martin?
Sandals.
I wouldn't know about it.
The interesting thing about the way the Empire used aliens was they generally put them in places where they could survive where humans couldn't.
Yeah,
and even the Wookiees, they were used mainly for building the Death Star parts, because it was heavy labor and things like that. So, I think the reason we didn't really see a lot of aliens is because the Empire kept them separated on purpose.
Well, and aliens aren't welcome; they're not actual citizens.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. Is the Empire is human centric, and that's why you don't see alien officers. That's why Thrawn was such an unusual.
Sorry.
Yep.
That's why he's so unusual, is because he was an alien that the Emperor trusted.
Yeah, he had to be exceptional to even get that any kind of trust.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be the biggest fan of Thrawn because he was a creation of a writer that he wasn't even part of George Lucas's universe. He was someone that was created in
Timothy
a book.
Zahn.
And Timothy Zahn created this guy, and he was so good that not only did he die in the extended universe, in the legacy universe, they brought him back, and now he's going to be part of the future of Star Wars.
And that's cool. Yep. Yeah, I think we're going to see him first.
That's how good a character he is, and there's already multiple books out now with the new canon. So yeah, I haven't even gotten started.
There's a trilogy and a duology.
I've read, I think, 3 of them. It's the 2 new ones that I haven't read yet. But one of them is him finding out about the Death Star.
Yeah.
He actually finds out about it because of stuff was getting, supply lines were getting, attacked and whatnot. And he finds out who it is and all that good stuff. And because he doesn't want the Death Star. He never actually wanted the Death Star. Like, he thought too much resources was getting put into it. He wanted to create the TIE Defenders, which were they were fighters that were a match for X-Wing because they had shields, they were faster. The biggest thing was the shields. They had hyperdrives, and he felt like they were a better investment than this big old machine that can only go one place at a time. Kind of
sounds
deal.
like a brilliant tactician to me. Wow,
no, he is. Yeah.
For those that aren't real
which
versed
is
in
me.
Star Wars,
I don't get into the extended stuff. I told you. I just
the TIE fighters are basically an engine with solar panels.
Yeah.
And a cockpit.
Yeah.
They have no shielding. They have no armor. They're just weapons. No, they're
nothing.
Yeah,
death trap.
So they don't have air conditioning. Yeah, I don't.
Nice.
But the biggest thing, like that's why when some of the Imperial pilots that like went to fame, they were like really good, is because they survived despite not having the things that the rebels had, which was shield. Shields always provided you with a second chance. For the most part, and so that you learn from your mistakes. Well, when you're in a TIE fight, you don't get to live.
Well, we get to see him first in Ahsoka when that, and you're going to be talking about the stuff we got coming.
He's in the Clone Wars and Rebels,
well, but live action.
I'm talking about live action, something I'd see.
Yeah, but they're canon, so they matter.
I understand that. I'm just saying you're going to be covering that at the end of the show. So let's get back to this.
All roads will lead to Ahsoka with that.
Yes.
That whole Mando
absolutely.
Part. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So the next episode we got here is episode 8. And this is where he starts to labor away. And I'm pretty sure he's building Death Star parts. Wouldn't you say, gentlemen?
Yeah, I have no idea what that part is, but
I'm pretty sure that's. I'm pretty sure that's what.
Either Death Star or Imperial Star Destroyer parts.
No, Death Star. Like at the end of the last episode, you see how the parts
are how the parts are being used. Absolutely. While lying low, Cassian is swept up in an Imperial crackdown with little more than a false identity as protection. The Empire are unaware of his true past, but send him to toil in a high-security prison. Meanwhile, the Imperial Security Bureau, the IBS, continues to piece together intelligence on acts of sedition. They're still looking for him. They don't even know he's in prison yet.
No, they don't.
That's what I thought was funny. You guys already got him, and you don't even know where he's at because he's under a different name right now. If I remember correctly, he's using a different name, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. You got to remember, in the Star Wars universe, there's no faster than light communication.
No. So this one had to do with the prison. We were introduced to how they keep these guys in check. Basically, it's the flooring. If you screw up, they're going to light up the floor, and you're going to be screwed.
Which I thought that was a novel concept.
It's a genius concept. You don't need as many guards, as we find out later on, right? But we also see Mon Mothma is finding out she's going to be in trouble pretty soon. They're starting to audit people, and her stuff is about to be in peril if she doesn't find a way to do some creative financing. And she turns to a friend. I can't remember the character's name.
He's a crime lord. Let's just.
No, I'm not talking about the guy that they turn to. I'm talking about her friend.
Oh, okay. Friend. No. Her friend is
Her friend is somebody that is a finance guy. It's obvious he's a bean counter, and she obviously trusts this guy enough to not tell him the entire story, but he knows it's shady.
I need to move my money, kind of deal.
Yes, I need to move this money.
Sort of trepidatious.
Yes, he's in those circles, that this is the higher end of society we're dealing with here, and all it takes is one screw up for you to end up on the low end. You know what I mean? So they're all really. They're on their P's and Q's, and they're watching their backs, and they're. I'd be paranoid if it was me, So, anyway, did we get more bots? No, okay. I'm just seeing it in the chat. But yeah, she's starting to make the move she needs to try and cover her trail.
speak and they appear.
What?
Bots just showed up.
Yep.
What? Where?
I don't see. Oh, there they go.
Oh, there they are. Sure shit. Boom. And they're gone. I got damn robots, John.
The damn robots, John. Yeah.
Too funny, man. But anyway, yeah, this one, it's a little bit more filler, but now you guys explain this to me. I didn't really grasp this, and I haven't watched these multiple times. What is the daughter into that the sister is finding questionable? What is that?
What?
You mean she's, it's like a religion from their
Is it a religion she's into?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it seems like to me.
That one was kind of throwing me off. I didn't understand. I was probably, you know me, I'm always working on something, so I probably missed it. But
because
I know
they're all dressed the same.
And the sister we're talking about, guys, is the blonde. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I called her Blonde Mothma.
Part of Mon Mothma's
Blonde
family, and she knows everything that Mon Mothma does, and they're talking in whispers about it the whole time, and they. Neither one of them really approve of what the daughter's doing, but it's got the father's blessing, so there's not really anything they can do about it. And I'd like to see more of that, and we may see that next season, I guess. But I'm really interested in what that's about.
Yeah.
You know,
the father. He, to me, he's Jefferson Darcy from Married with Children. He's just. He's just
basically, yeah.
He does his own thing, right? He don't care what the missus is doing. He does his own thing. Yeah.
Of course, Ted McGinley killed every show he was on, but that's another rabbit hole.
Yes, it is. But yeah, well, the husband obviously doesn't. He has no respect for his wife at all, and I have a feeling he's got something on her, because she looks totally defeated when they have conversations. You know what I mean?
There's never a warm moment between them.
No, there's not at all. So I'm with you on the arranged marriage thing. But yeah, we're seeing a lot more of this go on in the background. Meanwhile, our man meets his boss on the floor, and it's played by God, guys, senior moment. Say his name. It's your favorite character.
Kino.
Yeah, Kino. What's the actor's name that plays him?
Andy Serkis.
Yeah, Serkis.
Yeah,
Serkis.
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis,
Yeah,
yeah.
one of my favorites. And this is the next character I fell in love with in the show, man, because he's only got a little bit of time left. He's going to make sure everything flows right, you know. Yep. And I think this is the episode where we just get introduced to how they keep him in check with few guards. And I don't think him and Andor start butting heads yet. We're just getting introduced to the fact that you just got to do your work, get your sentence done, and get the hell out of there, right? Yeah. And so then I think that covers everything in this episode, don't you guys?
Yeah, because he's getting into, he has to force to get into the flow of things,
right?
Or he risks getting killed.
Right. And then we've got episode 9, which is under the unblinking scrutiny of the Empire within a high security prison. Cassian must surreptitiously work to plan his escape. The Imperial Security Bureau keeps digging for answers on Ferrix. Okay, so it's in this one that we start to see Cassian start looking for a way out. And this is when we see Norman Bates get back in the story, and he starts trying to sell his theory on things to the ISB chick, Deidre.
That won't be the last time that they're up close.
No, it won't be. And yeah, you talked about that earlier, but he views him as like a stalker, and she's trying to scrape him off of.
He is a stalker,
you know. Well, see, I'm seeing it from his perspective. He's not a stalker. He just knows this chick is pulling the strings, and this is who he needs to be talking
He wants
to.
to hitch his wagon to her. Yeah.
Right. To clear his name.
This is kind of like Brienne of Tarth in Game of Thrones, not like in the old redhead friend of Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, get away from me.
Right. But also in the prison, we're finding out that Cassian's looking for a way out. And Andy Serkis' character sees he's looking for a way out and starts riding his ass about it. Like, shut the fuck up and do your job, because I've only got so long left and you're not fucking it up on my watch. It's basically the crunch there.
He doesn't want anybody under his command getting out of line.
That's it. Exactly. And I think one of the motivations is because I remember it's a competition scale and the lowest ranked team gets hurt or something like that. And, and he's really pulling for the team, and he doesn't want to see anybody get out of line. So yeah, you can understand his motivations. But something happens, and I'm trying to think, was it in this episode or the next episode where we find out about that section that suddenly disappeared? Was it in this one at the end of it, or was it the next one? I don't remember. In the prison.
Yeah, because the next episode's Escape. So this is when they find out about it.
This is when they find out about it.
And then they realize that their time is just.
I think something happened, but they don't know what yet.
And then the old man collapses.
That's what I'm wondering. Was it at the end of this one?
Episode.
Is it the next one? Okay.
This is episode 10, right? Or are we on 9?
We're on 9.
Okay, yeah. The old man collapses at the end of this episode.
10 is.
Yeah, the old man collapses at the end of this one?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because that's where the medic basically clues them in that they're screwed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That nobody goes home. Yeah. They just move them around. That's why that whole sector disappeared.
Which there is a little bit of a flaw to that, in the sense that people would talk if that happened.
You would think.
Word would get around.
They'd find out about it somehow.
Yeah. I think
they're not sending an entire section home at the same time, are they?
No, but they would just move people around and fill in where they need to. Because they would just have people that are short timers move over to this other section. They wouldn't know. And the only people that would know that the entire section got wiped out would be the medics, because they're like the trustees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's how we found out about it. I just can't remember if it's the end of this one or the next one.
I think
so where we're at is
I got a little tidbit for you, Joe.
Go.
So
he wants to call me Pry, guys, because he calls me the privateer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I called him that for like a decade.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't call you Supergirl. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. He's not going to call me Supergirl.
No, I never have that issue. I'm looking up like Easter eggs from it from the show. And one thing that I actually missed this when I watched the show, but you're not the only one that thinks that he's a former Jedi.
Yeah,
which is basically because of the kyber crystal.
Right.
But he says it's a Quadi signet, blue kyber, skystone, the ancient world, celebrates the uprising against the Rakatan invaders. Now, the Rakatans is actually a race that is from the video game Knights of the Old Republic, which is a game that is going to be coming out, actually being remade, and its lore, which is 3,000 years before the events of Return of
By
Jedi.
the way, guys, I'm just looking at the clock, and it's about 17 minutes till our usual ending time, but I'm asking you guys, are you concerned about stopping at 2 hours, or are you good with continuing on and having our discussion until it's over with?
I got about 45 minutes myself. But.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll just keep going with it. I don't want to cram, Go ahead.
Another thing is,
I just thought that was an interesting tidbit.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, very cool.
In Luthen's store, there's a Sith armor.
Yeah, there's also a Gungan shield.
Yep.
Well, he does deal with antiques.
Specifically, this is what we can see among his relics of the past age. A Jedi.
In fact, there are Jedi and a Sith holograms. A lot of it happens.
So maybe he's just a guy that's really knowledgeable about all these things, and he uses these tools. I still think he's a Jedi. I still think.
But he's not. Only Rey is all the Jedi. Just remember that.
Look, I think he's like a Qui-Gon Jinn. He's marching to his own tune. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. I think, and it would take somebody like that to start a rebellion. You know what I'm saying? Because Qui-Gon Jinn's my favorite Jedi ever. I think he's the most awesome one. I really do. I hate the fact they killed him off in the first movie. But anyway, so let's move on to episode 10. And this, the old man collapsed at the end of the last one, because here we go. A rare opportunity opens, and the time for Cassian and his allies to act is now. Meanwhile, to ensure the future of the rebellion, Mon Mothma brokers a new deal with a very high cost. And this, when I'm gonna talk about Mon Mothma first. Mothra. I keep wanting to do that. It's Mon Mothma. Hey man, I watched Godzilla when I was a kid. Give me a break. I dug Godzilla. But I looked at my wife when I was watching it, because I got her into it at this point, so I could watch it on time, kind of. And I said to her, surely she's not going to pimp out her own daughter. I really. That's
you don't know Mon Mothma.
Yeah. Well,
apparently I don't.
You will. Yeah.
Apparently I don't, man.
Oh, that coming a mile away.
Look at this way. Her daughter and her husband treat her like shit. Of course she's gonna sell them out.
Right? I don't know, man. I don't know. That just seems wrong. That's your kid, dude. Come on.
Now, hey, for her credit, she hesitated for at least 2 seconds.
Well, 2 episodes.
Come on, let's give her
2 episodes. 2 episodes. This is episode
away the first time.
2 episodes. But also we got getting on program. Getting on program, boys. Why are we doing it? Because we realize nobody's going home. We got to get the fuck out of here. And this is a pretty cool episode. This one and number 11 are my favorite ones. Because they're the most rebellious acts happens in these 2 episodes, really.
Yeah, so this is where I really started getting hooked.
Yeah.
Like 7 was when I started getting more intrigued. And then 8, and then like 9 and 10 were just like the ones that got me.
He finally, whenever the old man did collapse, they had been frictional, because our man Circus wanted everything to go to program, because he could go home, get it done. This is what we want to do. But when they found out that nobody's going home, that's when he said, okay, what do we need to do? Yep. And he finally gave him the answer to the question he was asking: how many guards are on duty? That's what I need to know. That's all I need to know. They don't have enough guards to guard us. That's why they got this floor system. How many guards are on duty? And he tells him at the end of the last episode, this is how many. Let's get started, right?
Guys,
so
I have to do something. I hope I can go back before the stream is over, but I will be on the phone listening to you.
Okay, buddy.
I have to get.
If you make it back, cool. If not, Martin, we'll see you around Pop Culture Minefield, buddy.
Okay.
All right.
Take it easy, Martine.
Take care, Martine. Thanks for coming,
Bye,
dude.
guys.
I appreciate you. I hope you had a good time.
Oh yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. But yeah, man. Cassian's got a plan. He's gotten out of places like this before. It's obvious. He knows what to do, man. And great. When Circus buys in there in the middle of the battle and says attack, man, that's when I was like, yeah, get them, boys. Let's go.
Well, Cassian knows he's on his side when Andy Serkis lets him in on how many guards are on any given level at a time.
Yeah.
At that point, he knows he's locked in.
Yeah.
It was very interesting when that one prisoner took that first step on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the power went down and they were trying to convince him to, it started. Yeah. Started. And that took a lot of, cojones to be the first one.
To be the first guy to step out of that room, absolutely. Step
on the floor.
Yeah. That was
initially.
Awesome.
I wondered why they weren't stealing the guards' boots, but then that would have just slowed them down trying to get to the part where they were able to get the power shut down. So
right.
Yeah.
it makes sense they didn't stop in
Mhm.
in hindsight.
Yeah. I thought this happened in episode 11, but then I remembered we spent a whole episode where they were trying to get across the wasteland. Yeah, I forgot all about that. But yeah, we find out when they finally get busted out of there, man. Poor old Andy can't swim, and they're diving. Yep. And something tells me we're going to see him again. We're going to see him again.
You think so?
And I wouldn't be surprised if we see him again in an
we
Imperial uniform. It's just a feeling I have. Kind of like
I'm fully confident that Snoke is going to come back.
Snoke. Oh my god. But yeah, I dug this episode because of the prison break and everything, and Mon Mothma is confronted with pimping out her daughter. I mean, it was wow. This guy, yeah, I'll do whatever you need, but I got a 14-year-old son, he doesn't get many checks, Just an introduction.
I got a 14-year-old son. You've got a daughter.
Right.
You're way above me on the social scale. This is a way for my family to get up into the.
Let's move on up. Moving on up, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. I'm telling you, I was just flabbergasted. I was like, surely she's not going to do this.
That type of transaction probably happened a good bit in like the Middle Ages, and then even in more recent times. In certain
probably happened to her.
Right? That's probably why she's in this situation she's in. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because I think
could factor into her thinking.
I think they did mention something about that, the arranged marriage thing, or because somebody was talking to her, are you going to arrange at that party? Are you going to arrange a marriage? No, that was,
yeah,
they do that on my planet. We're not going to do that here.
Right. But she changed her tune by the end, though, didn't she? Oh, sheesh.
Sure.
Okay, well, so
with the heat closing in, yeah.
The heat is on, as they like to say. Let's see. Now we're into probably my favorite episode. Because my favorite scene and everything that happens afterwards is in this one. Excuse me. We got episode 11. Once again on the run, Cassian plans his next move, hoping to get back to Ferrix before it's too late. Now, I believe at this point we start to find out that she's sick, right? And she's the mother is not doing well on Ferrix, right?
Yeah, well, we saw that in previous episodes when before Bix got taken,
right?
She was talking about it.
Yeah. But we find out that she's gone.
Yep.
She dies in this one.
By the way, I like this guy.
Yeah, this guy is the salt of the earth, man. He is the backbone, right?
He's a stand-up guy.
He's not flashy. He just does what needs to be done, and he takes care of his people.
He's the type of character that in a movie you don't have time for.
Yeah.
But in a series like this, you can flesh him out a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like he cares about this robot as much as he would a person, And I guess in the world of Star Wars, you tend to, it's always been like that. They always cared about R2-D2, right? And C3. Well, they were always annoyed with C3PO. Yeah. They didn't want him dead, but they were always annoyed with him. So they've got definite personality quirks.
It's funny with R2-D2 when generally with what they were supposed to happen is that they were supposed to, with the R2-D2 series especially, is that they're supposed to get wiped.
Yeah.
And R2-D2 never got wiped.
Never did.
Through his entire lifespan.
Nope. And I believe, if I remember correctly,
I think he got it once or twice because he had to have forgotten, Anakin and all that good shit.
No, he didn't. That was the whole point.
No.
He didn't forget.
I think at one point he did get wiped.
I'm pretty sure that Lucas.
No, they were going to. Remember, they were going to when Uncle Owen bought him.
And they did.
Be sure they get wiped in the morning, but they never did because they took off.
Yep.
Because R2 took off, and then they go out into the desert to go get him.
No, I'm not talking about then. I'm talking about before that.
Well, I know at one point there was a Clone Wars episode where Anakin got in trouble because he lost R2D2 in a when he got shot down, and he got in trouble for not having wiped him. So I know that there was at least a long period of time where he wasn't. I think maybe it was 3PO that got wiped at one point, but R2D2.
Yeah,
never
see,
did.
yeah, 3PO did. He
Yeah.
got in the Han Solo.
Yeah.
Thing.
Well, this is the deal. I'm pretty sure
R2D2 is the ultimate non-snitch.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dude never snitched.
I'm pretty sure Lucas intended them to be the storytellers through all of the stories.
Well, because Star Wars originally based on the part of Star Wars was originally inspired by the Hidden Fortress. Yeah. And there's 2 characters in that you see the whole story through their eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But anyway, we got this guy trying to take care of the robot, and the robot doesn't want to leave without her. He's expecting her to come back. I don't think he understands the concept of death. I think that's one of the struggles that robot's having.
Yeah.
Of course, we've got Andor making his way across the wasteland. Now, there was a shit ton of guys that jumped into the water, but we only see 2 people, him and one other guy. There's no way all those people died trying to get out of there. They must have split up and gone in different directions.
I think from a storytelling standpoint, they just didn't have time to deal with other people
that
survived.
Right. But most of what we see out of Andor in that one is him escaping and getting across the wasteland. Now there was a couple of alien guys that as soon as they mentioned they weren't Imperials, they let them go.
Yeah.
Because they didn't like Imperials, right?
There weren't a lot of comedic moments, but that was one of them.
Yeah.
And then, because they got shot with that sticky web stuff.
Yeah. And I thought that was pretty funny. But the fact that they let them go as soon as they found out they weren't with the Empire.
And then they go,
like, yeah, go ahead.
So where do you want to go?
Where do you want to go? I thought that was pretty cool, man.
It did almost get a little bit too Taika Waititi there in that scene, but
it didn't go overboard.
Right.
No.
Right. Yeah.
No, it didn't go overboard, which is that guy goes way overboard. Ugh, God almighty. But then we got more of the Mon Mothma thing, and really we haven't mentioned Luthen is his artifact dealing front. He's got a person working for him, and she knows everything that's going on. She's basically his communications guy, and she does the communication. Gets messages out and takes them and lets him know what's going on.
She's the guys in the chair.
She's the guy in the chair. Exactly. Yeah, she's Ned, right? And
and she's a little bit more calculated than even Luthen in terms of wanting to cut bait when you have to cut bait.
Yeah, she is all about not getting caught. She's all in. Don't be wrong. Don't be confused about this. She's all in. She's in with fighting the Empire, but she does not want to sacrifice herself doing it. That's for sure. So she's very careful about what she's doing.
I'm curious if Andor 2 season 2 that if they might consider doing the CGI Tarkin again, if they also show.
Please no.
I didn't mind that, but I'd also would like to see more
recast.
I would like to either way. If they do Tarkin, I would like to see a little bit more of Admiral Akbar.
Yeah.
Because he was a slave.
Yeah, see him in the rebellion, right?
Yeah. He was a slave of Tarkin. That's what he learned. He learned from Tarkin as a slave of his.
Yes. Maybe we'll see that.
Because he's another prominent member of the rebellion.
Oh yeah.
And then how does he and Mothma meet?
Mr. It's a trap. Hell yeah. I'd love to see some of his backstory. I love
that
character.
Went out like a chump. He's just blown out a hole. That's his death.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
you say like a chump or like chum, with the whole fish thing. Yeah.
These Disney trilogy is so bad. But anyway,
he deserved better.
Yes, he did. But anyway, why this is my favorite episode? We're on 11, right? This is 11. Yep. Okay. The whole reason why is his visit to go see Forrest Whitaker's guy again, and he basically tells him look, I'm not making the decision for you. And this is another reason why I think he's a Jedi. If you notice, they don't tell people what to do. They just observe. They let them know what's going on, and they let them make the decision, right? And when he's inspected, you can't tell me that thing he's got in his that guy pulls out of his pocket doesn't look like a lightsaber that's turned off.
But even if he does, he's an antique collector. Why wouldn't he have a lightsaber?
Right. I understand.
Yeah, but why was he carrying it with him?
It could be either way, right?
This lightsaber.
But I just he's got the toys though, and that's what I'm fixing to talk about, dude. He gets in there, and I love the conversation with him and Forrest Whitaker, his character. Forrest Whitaker's like, you want to just sacrifice this guy? He's like, look, and he had to pull a gun on somebody and lie about somebody to get him close enough to get a gun and put it in his face to get him to shut up long enough for him to understand. Hey, look, if I was ISB, I'd kill you right now. You know,
I would let you walk into the trap.
Out for you. Either we sacrifice this guy and we continue on, or we warn him and we all get caught. You know, he just laid it out for him.
And it burns this guy in the ISB.
That's it. Yeah. And so
that was a great scene. The ISB guy in the elevator talking to
now what episode was that? That was the episode before this. That's the one you didn't like.
That was an episode or two before this.
Yeah, I think it's episode 10. I think it's the one directly before this. Knock, tell us why you didn't like that scene very much. The ISB guy when he's telling him you are going to do this.
Oh, you talk about the
when they're when Luthen is talking to the ISB contact. Well, that's the scene that was going on that you said you didn't like earlier.
I don't know that we.
No, the scene that you had on was the space fight.
The space
fight. He doesn't like
you had paused it at the space fight.
Okay, I got you. Okay,
where
you didn't like the space fight.
No, I didn't like I don't like saying this about like shows or like whatever, but because it's usually like a video game term. But he was too OP.
He was too OP, but he had all the toys. He was James Bond. He had all the gadgets, man.
I just think I don't know. I guess it's because I don't know enough about his character that it's like, oh, all of a sudden he can just murder a bunch of TIE fighters. I've never been a fan of fodder troops in the first place, and I know that's pretty much what stormtroopers are. And it just seems like they never have any training. They can't do nothing, and then he has beams coming out of his fucking ship that we've never seen before in any Star Wars
I actually
ever.
Saw that called a lightsaber ship is what it was called in one of the videos I saw.
I didn't like that because you could use that.
Why haven't we seen that before?
Carve up the ship. Why didn't he just carve up the ship?
Carve up the one. Yeah. That was,
but play devil's advocate.
The way he got away from the tractor beam, I thought that was cool as shit.
No, and they've had, and that's precedence when there's ways to get out of a tractor beam. It fucks up your ship, but there is ways to do it.
Play devil's advocate. That may be a one-use item.
It could be.
It could be.
I thought about that.
It could burn out those generators.
Yeah, it uses so much energy that you can only do it once every so often.
But the fact that he was able to do that, and that would probably be your biggest evidence that he is a Jedi, is to be able to do something like that with spinning things on the side of your ship.
And he wasn't even flustered doing it.
At the same time.
Wasn't even flustered that whole scene.
It was too, that scene was too easy. And they wanted to make it look good, but it was just way too easy for him to do that for just being this guy that we know really nothing about.
They edited out the part where he goes, "You will release me from the tractor beam." I don't know if that works, unless you're face to face.
Instead, he shot a bunch of rocks at it.
The whole thing with him, between him and Forrest Whitaker, from the point he shows up and gets inspected, and through the conversation and everything, all the way through him getting away from the Imperial ship, that's what leads me to think he's.
Do you think he was pushing Saw?
I think he knows something of the Jedi arts. Now, maybe he's a fallen Jedi. Maybe he's not actually a Jedi anymore, but he knows he knows the tools of the trade. That's for damn sure. By watching everything we've seen so far. So, And I that thing just looked too much like a lightsaber to me. It really did. I was like, I actually paused it and looked at my wife. I said, that can't be an accident. There's no, they wouldn't show you that like that for no reason. You know what I mean?
I would like one of those when I'm sitting in traffic. Just
yeah, that'd be great. But anyway, okay, so it all comes down to this episode 12, boys and girls. The season 1 wrap up.
I thought it could have been better.
Yeah, it's got its failings. A little bit too many cliffhangers at the end of this
Felt
one.
a little disjointed.
Yeah. What we have here, targeted by numerous interests, the fugitive Cassian returns home to Ferrix, a tinderbox that is experiencing a spark of rebellion. This one, I dug the beginning of the fight on Ferrix, how it's implemented and all that stuff. I thought her speech in the hologram was great. I thought that was fantastic. But yeah, the ending of it, a few too many cliffhangers, I thought.
Well, that and I thought they let her speak. Well, I know it was for the purposes of the show, but I think they let her speech go on a little bit longer than is what would be plausible.
Well, I think because remember they had a whole thing about the we need to let them, it's a trap.
Yeah.
So they're letting it go on because they're trying to fish. They're trying to
get the bots again.
To get out to get rid of to catch Andor. Well, she the ISB commander, she has taken off and left the local guys in charge. Well, the last they heard, they're supposed to not do anything because they're using this to draw Andor out.
Yep.
But when she started talking about how the the Empire, how bad the Empire is, that's when the guy goes and throws his coat over it trying to stop it, and then she finally says to throw off to rebel.
Yeah.
And when Skarsgård,
one thing I took away, this guy, he just observed the whole thing. He really didn't even get involved. You know,
when Luthen puts on the hood, especially.
Yeah,
he kind of has an Undertaker vibe.
Yeah, he does.
This episode.
yeah. And it's kind of assumed he's there to kill. Yeah, there you go. Boom. Yes.
Well, they even had a guy in the bell tower playing it. So
there you go, man. Yep. There you go. That I thought was cool. The callback to when everybody started, the communication in the town on when something's happening. I thought that was cool as hell because none of them. The thing that was funny about it was none of them were there. It was the security contractors that were there the first time it happened. If those troops had been there the first time it happened, they'd have been clued into it. They'd have known something was going to happen, right?
Yep.
So, and one thing we haven't discussed the whole time here, we actually mentioned it, but we haven't really gotten into it. I think it's it might have been in the last episode when they start torturing Bix. I think.
No, it was the episode before that.
Was it? It was episode 10?
Because there's a couple of because
it went a couple of episodes because they did break her, man. They messed her up pretty bad because when Andor finally got to her in this episode, she looked like she didn't want to move. She was defeated. But
she says, "Well, there's nobody outside." It's like, no, they'll be mad.
Yeah. Yep. Right. She was totally busted, dude. They had broke her down, no doubt about it. But they're all under the impression that this guy is actually there to kill Andor, to keep him quiet, right?
Well, he is.
And
he is.
Is he?
He was.
Did he ever say he would? Yeah.
Yeah, he did say it.
No, somebody else said it.
No,
he didn't say it.
He
said that for the good of the keep the secret, he had to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, once again, I think he's throwing people off. I think he always intended to pick him up and take him out of there. Because he was so vehement about using him to begin with. But I like this episode from the point of the rebellion starting on Ferrix. I thought that was kick-ass. I know Matt wants to talk about Norman Bates finally meeting the dream girl in the broom closet, right?
I swear they were. I was like, they're going to kiss, aren't they? They're just going to start making out. Didn't happen, but that
awesome.
vibe was there.
Yep. She's definitely like, had a different look at him whenever he saved her.
He had just saved her life.
Yep.
So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No doubt.
He says, she says, I guess I should thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, here it comes.
And she wasn't. Yeah, and she wasn't. She was kind of in submissive mode. Before she was the aggressor. Now all of a sudden she's really submissive sounding. So yeah, I thought it was coming too until they get interrupted. But the things I didn't like in this one was I really didn't like Mon Moth pimping out her daughter. I really didn't like that. But then again, I'm thinking about it from American father's perspective.
Yeah.
I would never do that. Yeah. But when we get into the arranged marriage thing and all this stuff, that makes it plausible,
And the planet she's from, it's common. So
yeah. But
I did like
and she's desperate. So
she is desperate. Yeah. But she was making moves. It was in this episode where she starts chewing her husband's ass about gambling, and he looked like he was blindsided. Like, I ain't been gambling. What are you talking about?
We got a Canto Bite reference in that conversation.
Yeah, man. Yep. Wow. I was like, yeah. I've been in that situation, guys, and it's not fun. Let me tell you. Ugh. But anyway, right, for real. But that was a cliffhanger.
I like how Andor was smart enough to hide in Ferrix, in town during the funeral.
Exactly.
That was cool. I was waiting for the writers to make the mistake of having him just kind of like,
walking through town, right? Yeah. I was like, man, he better not move. He's gonna get caught, Yeah. But yeah, the whole build up to the fight and everything I thought was really great. I loved the part where he got everybody out and he said, I gotta stay. But he got all his people out of there. I thought that was fantastic. I thought it was really cool. And he told him he was going to get back with him, right? He said he'd be along behind him, right? Am I forgetting that part or remembering or messed up here? I'm pretty sure he said that to him.
Oh,
but he had to stay, right?
Yeah, he's like, because he was going to catch
confront Luthen. Yeah,
Luthen. Yeah, but yeah, he knew when he was like he just wanted to get her out once they're leaving. He knows they're leaving. It was all part of the plan.
Yeah.
He sets her and he takes off. Gets her on the ship, and she goes, Cassian will be back.
Yeah, yeah.
Because she went. She moved.
I think the droid asking about him.
Yeah, the droid was like, Lucian's back when he comes running up there because they were all about ready to blast him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
so
he's like, Cassian's back.
That I thought was cool as shit. Getting them out at the spaceport, and then when he confronts Luthen, I told my wife, I said, yeah, he's on board that thing. Luthen ain't getting out of here without confronting him. And I thought there might be a fight involved, but he had him, and he could have killed him right there.
Yep,
didn't do it. See, I think that he was telling everybody else he was going to kill him when he really had no intentions of killing him. I don't think he ever had intentions of killing him. So yeah, that's every episode of Andor. A very, very well. I thought it was a well-written show. There's parts where it dragged. They could have trimmed this down to 10 episodes, maybe. But I think you lost only about 2 episodes of it.
It's still the best Star Wars Disney's done.
Yeah, it is the best Star Wars Disney has done. And now,
as far as live action,
I don't know.
Yeah, the live action.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but
really,
I actually don't agree with that.
Maybe like Mando season 1, or
yes, I believe Mandalorian season 1 is the best thing that they created. It was complete. You want to talk about backstories? Like that was a complete just.
Yeah, the backstory of the Mandalorian was pretty cool. Yeah, we had heard how badass his Mandalorians were, and once again, guys, your host has not gotten into the extended universe like a lot of these guys have, but we'd always heard how badass Mandalorians were, and that's why Boba Fett wore one of them's armor. We knew Boba wasn't a Mandalorian, but he wore the armor of a Mandalorian because they were so badass. It's supposed to be some of the best armor there is, right? Am I wrong about this, guys?
Yep. It's Beskar, which can withstand a lightsaber. Yeah.
Right. So,
which is why they used it.
I enjoyed Mandalorian, but here's my problem with the Mandalorian. It's a Western in space. This is the war between the rebels and the Empire.
Yep.
That's what this is. That's what I watch Star Wars for. You know, that's what I watch it for.
I would say I liked it in the sense that it didn't assume the audience was idiots like some of the other Disney Star Wars shows have done, like Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan mainly.
Yep.
So I thought it was well written overall in comparison to most everything else they've done. To me, that the two knocks I have on it would be some of the promotion stuff was seeming to try to like channel Che Guevara, sort of going down that whole Marxist rabbit hole that they probably shouldn't have gone down.
Yeah, I had heard leading up to it that it was supposed to be an anti-Trump show, and I was like, I didn't see any of that in this.
But it
didn't.
It didn't reflect that so much in the show. And then the other thing is, to me, Star Wars, there should be a little bit more optimism at the end. Now, again, Empire Strikes Back, there's a lot of pessimism there. So there's plenty of precedence for that. But I would have liked to have seen it just a little more brightness in it. You know, they didn't have to go like full on, cheesy, but just a little more.
The one part of this show that I thought showed that the best, and it's just because this guy right here is such a great damn actor. When he hears over the radio, he's got the wig on, he's in his friggin' shop, and he's back there listening on the radio in the back, that he's hearing the aftermath of the heist.
Yep.
And he just starts grinning and goes, yes, they did it. You can tell he's visibly enthused, that, he's very happy that it's happened. So to your point, you need to have some hopeful moments there. It's a dark time, though. You got to remember, this is a dark time. That's why the rebellion gets started. It's a very dark time.
They're literally called the Dark Times. Yeah.
Yep.
And it also fits in with the tone of Rogue One.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And knock, I had to step away for a second, but I hadn't really. I mean, I kind of forgot it's about Mandalorian. So yeah, you are right. Mandalorian was better than this, but this is definitely a close second.
I like the Mandalorian, but
it definitely grew on me for sure. But I'm definitely going to prefer.
I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I'm just saying, in my opinion, this is better. Especially, I do like the Mandalorian.
Especially how Mandalorian's connecting to other things, unlike this one is, because you're branching off from Mandalorian. I mean, Boba Fett kind of sucked, but it's still it was connected to Mandalorian, and then
so did Obi-Wan.
So there was a lot of things that were connected with that one, where this one's just kind of standing alone. Which
you did see
it kind of works because Rogue One kind of stood alone in its own way.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite setting of anything that I've seen Disney Star Wars so far, in my opinion, is I think it was one of those couple of episodes in Book of Boba Fett that had the Mandalorian, where he went to like it was some satellite named like the Ring or the Will, or where it was a round shaped space station, and I thought that was really cool. In that episode where they did that, apparently they spent a lot of money on those scenes, but
it would be nice to see more than just barren freaking towns, and though. Seeing all these damn shows.
I understand you guys love the desert, but
yeah, right.
Well,
can we please go to Fallujah? Can we please go to Fallujah?
Look at the original trilogy. Okay, they went to different places. They went to an ice planet. They went to a forest planet. I mean, they went to different places.
They went to a non-moon.
I mean, come on, man. It doesn't have to all take place in a fucking desert.
Yeah, I mean, Mandalorian could at least go to Alderaan. Oh wait.
No, it's not so much. Yeah.
Well, there's comets there now.
Right, there's chunks floating around somewhere.
I think part of it is they film a lot of this on that the filming location they have there that Disney owns called the Volume, that studio, where it's like a panorama background. And I did hear them say on one of the specials about how it is easier to film with with a dirt
Martin's back
ground in terms of setting things up. And so I think some of it is budgetary and just, I don't know if it's a lazy writing.
Martin, to fill you in, we have wrapped the show. Now we're comparing it to other Disney Star Wars.
Yeah, I was here. I was looking on my phone.
Okay.
Well,
what do you think better, this or The Mandalorian?
This one,
okay.
and this is why. It's let me start with the things I like about The Mandalorian.
Sure.
It has a better known lore connection.
Yes.
Sure. It has more action. To me, what hit me the most was the father and son relationship. That is what makes that show. And you get it when Mando sees the little sphere from the liver of his ship once he have delivered the Grogu, and then he comes back and find the cradle broken, and you can, if you have kids, you can feel inside you the rage.
Absolutely,
that is my son. People is going to die here.
Yeah,
that connection was very well done. The second season, man, if you take every episode to make the introduction to a spin-off, your main character is going to suffer. And Mando looks like he's demoted in his own show.
Yeah.
This show, on the other hand, I feel is more maturely written.
Yeah,
that is what I like. And about the darkness and the thing, okay, man. Here's the thing: we have for decades known the Empire is evil, but we have never seen really
how evil they are. Yeah, and we're seeing it in this show. Yeah,
and that is why this show has to be like that, because now you know these motherfuckers are really evil.
Yeah,
and they're always watching.
And they're always watching.
Not always. And this is the best part. In the prison, there's no guard. Their guard is the fear.
Yeah, pretty much. Once that floor's gone, that's your ass.
Andor has that discussion with Kino, and he said, "You think they're watching? They don't need to watch.
Yeah,
they know we're broken. We have fear. They don't need to watch." And that is the maxim of the Empire.
Yeah.
Remember Tarkin said when he says the Empire has dissolved the Senate, and the other members say how are we going to maintain control of the regional system? He said fear to this battle station.
Yep. Well, look at any dictatorship. Fear is a huge element.
Now, to this point, though, Mandalorian is really good at introducing more characters from the universe. You were making that point earlier. Ahsoka comes in the second season. And, you want that if they're going to have several different stories, like Ahsoka's going to get her own show, right? You got to bring her at some point so people know who she is. Because I knew who she was, but a lot of normies aren't going to know who Ahsoka is.
Right.
And I think Mandalorian is good for that. I enjoy the war. That's what I'm in with, man. I love the war and what's going on with it. So
I think a reason why that I initially said that this was better, the best thing Star Wars done, is because I've kind of written Mando off now at this point. After I'm not really.
Trailer, if you've seen the trailer for the new one, it looks pretty decent, man.
Yeah. But Mando season 3 is the Bo-Katan show.
Yeah, it's the Bo-Katan show. It's not really about Mando. And the thing is, I'll watch it, of course, but I'm not that excited about it because A, they got rid of my girl.
Yeah.
And she's not going to be back.
Yeah, she's not going to be back. Yeah, no doubt. Gina Carano, who's
yeah. I mean, they got rid of Cardoon.
Great character. Yeah.
And because she was my favorite character on The Mandalorian.
Well, the fact they got rid of her for political reasons and not
BS reason. Yeah. So that's another reason why I wrote the whole Mandalorian off. Now, Ahsoka, I'm excited about because I'm a huge Ahsoka fan. I have been since the character was introduced.
Yeah.
Back when she was Snips.
Oh,
I wouldn't know. I just.
Oh man, you have to. You have to watch it.
Oh, hey, the animated stuff I just don't watch.
Don't get me started on how Anakin should not have he shouldn't have had a Padawan at that point. But
no, he shouldn't have. But
that's another half hour of complaining. Yeah.
So that is his Andor, boys and girls. Now, Knock, you wanted to talk about what we have to look forward to in Disney Star Wars. Have you got that together for us, man?
Yeah, I can pull it up here. Just some of the.
But just to let you know, guys, that's my favorite character in the entire damn show. He is just badass, and he's a Jedi. I don't care what anybody says. He's a Jedi.
Some of these I don't know too much about because I'm just seeing these for the first time.
Okay.
Tales of the Jedi they already did. That was really good. That was about Ahsoka and Dooku, Count Dooku.
No kidding.
Little free story into them.
Okay.
So that was really cool. Bad Batch is basically this will be Clone Wars season 10, whatever you want to call it. Which is fine. I'm gonna watch it. I really like seeing the Clone Wars stuff because in the first season of Bad Batch, it was literally, and you might actually like it. Well, you say the war, but you're mentioning you're talking about the rebellion, not the Clone Wars. Now
I'm talking about the rebellion versus the
right.
Empire.
So this in Bad Batch, the first season of that one it's pretty much right after Order 66 and the effects of it.
Oh wow!
When the Empire first starts closing their
close that fist,
and these are guys that had now the whole Order 66 was chips in their head. And when he called for Order 66, it flipped that switch, and that's why they turned on the Jedi. Now, the Bad Batch were a group of guys that had their chips removed, or they didn't function properly. So
the Bad Batch of clones, gotcha.
Right, so they're not affected by, and then there were some other clones as well that got their chips taken out by Ahsoka, and stuff like that.
And the chip thing was kind of a retcon.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Now, Joe, if you're ever watching Echo Base Network, if they're talking about Bad Batch, just in the comments put Nick loves Omega. Okay.
Oh my God.
Because Nick, one of the co-hosts, he hates the girl clone on this.
Oh
Omega.
Yeah. That was she's an interesting one, but I don't know. I'm going with it for now, but because she's kind of an anomaly as well.
See, I got the right guys on the panel, guys, because they're all into this stuff, and I just watch the movies.
So there's actually there's some guys out there for like going through all the filler episodes of Clone Wars. Really, it's like the last season that you really need to watch.
I would love it.
I
would love it, Knock, if the thing I always wanted to see in the Terminator was the war in the future, and we got to see that in a movie called Salvation. I would love to see the Clone War. I would love to see that in a movie type thing. I would really dig that.
They did that too.
Cool.
But...
Yeah.
Go ahead. Of course, Mandalorian season 3.
Which they're going to get into I think the Mandalorian War, battle for Mandalore.
Sure looked like there was a bunch of Mandalorians in this one.
Yeah, they're gonna lead
technically the leader right now. So it's
well, he doesn't want to be the leader. He's like trying to get away to, and it's like no, she's got to take it from him. Well, I think
there's a reason why she did that, and the reason why is because she did it before. In the Clone Wars cartoon, she had taken it from someone else, who's Sabine, who I believe is coming back.
She didn't take it. Sabine
just gave it to her.
Yeah, just gave it to her, and that's why Bo-Katan didn't want to receive it again, because when she did that, her whole planet got messed up. So receiving it in that way, just being given it to her is a curse.
the whole lore. The whole lore of the Darksaber is you've got to take it in order to be the leader,
right? Yeah.
And Sabine's coming back. Ezra Bridger's coming back. Thrawn's coming back. The crew, the Ghost, is all coming back. So the Hera, Chopper, what's his name? I can't remember the big alien.
Kanan is dead.
Ezra Bridger's going to be an interesting one because he was going to be an apprentice to a Jedi, or he has force sensitivity. So and he the last we saw of him, he went with Thrawn to unknown space.
Yes,
and so we have no idea how Thrawn or him even got back into the universe,
which I'm sure they'll address.
Right. So that's going to be really interesting.
So basically, we're going to get the live action.
Geb, is it Geb? Is that what his name is?
The
big blue alien,
the purple alien, the big guy.
Yeah. The names of those. I only went through that series once. So,
what else you got, Knock?
I don't know much about this one. I don't know if I do animated TV series, Young Jedi Adventures. That sounds like a kid show.
Yeah. That's going to be one of those
Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah. This one, Visions. I don't know much about that.
It's a sequel to
Visions.
Yeah,
I don't think I watched those. I don't think I watched
the Visions. What the Visions is?
That was like a mixture. That was like a mixture of stuff, right?
Yeah, but they had some stuff come out of it that's really, really good. They were
just random stories. I didn't.
Well, it's like done by like anime.
Yeah, they had like different styles, and they
yeah.
I didn't really care for those.
And it's not really canon. It's sort of like
that's why I didn't like them.
Yeah, in the expanded universe, you had visionaries, and you had some things that were not canon during in that during that time period too.
So basically, this is what if of the Star Wars universe. Is that
something?
Yeah.
Irrelevant stories, really.
Gotcha.
Then of course
we got Ahsoka,
which I can't wait for. The more
a lot of people can't wait for that one. And our girl's playing it, right? Rosario Dawson.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Cool.
And
very cool.
I want to see who's. I don't know if they've confirmed anybody for who's actually playing Thrawn yet, but I love that.
Yeah, they did. The guy that does the voice is actually.
Is he
Thrawn.
okay? I wasn't sure if they. Okay. I don't know what this is. Skeleton Crew.
I think if it's what I'm thinking of, it's the criminal under. It's like the criminal group.
It's interesting that Rosario Dawson, she tied together the Marvel Netflix series, and now she's tying together the whole like Filoni-verse. So multiple universes she's tying together.
And there's the Acolyte, which I don't know much about either.
That is based on that High Republic that they came out with. It's absolute garbage. It's all woke, and they've got a sentient rock as one of the characters. Okay.
Yeah, I read the first book of the High Republic, and I enjoyed it, so I don't know much about what you're referring to. But
well, you're in
I
Colorado,
haven't covered everything.
Rocky Mountain High.
Lando TV series.
But it's not Billy D. Williams. It's
the
Donald
pansexual.
Glover.
It's the guy that has sex with robots. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The series is Lando Pando Bangs the Galaxy.
I don't know how good this is going to be.
Oh, please no!
Star Wars movie. I don't know. I'm starting to get a little too much humor from his movies, so I don't know how good this one's going to be.
He needs to get back to doing his own original stuff because he's really good at it.
Yeah.
And quit destroying other
last I
shit.
heard, Rogue Squadron got canned.
Yeah.
It's possible. Who knows anymore? Because I'm kind of glad it did because I don't like the one who's going to produce it.
Oh, you talk about the director,
Kelly something
Jenkins, something Jenkins.
So
the one that did Wonder Woman.
Yes,
Patty Jenkins.
Yeah,
Patty Jenkins.
She also did Monster, which I think is one of the most overrated movies ever.
Yeah.
I don't even know who these guys are.
Damon Lindelof. Damon Lindelof. Oh yeah, no.
And of course,
Book of Boba Fett too.
I don't think that's going to happen.
It's listed as status unknown.
Some of these are getting into kind of rumors and
Kevin
stuff like
Feige
that.
Star Wars movie. What is he going to throw Marvel's guys in it or something?
Yeah, so they even have the Ryan Johnson, which have been canceled, uncanceled, canceled, uncanceled. So who knows with that one? This one was supposed to be.
So basically,
was canceled.
We've got some good.
Yeah,
we've got some good filler
however,
series.
I've been seeing rumors that she might still come back for Mandalorian.
So basically,
if they bring her back, then that's fine. But I don't think she would come back.
I don't think she's coming back for this season.
She said she wasn't coming back to Disney.
Yeah, she
for
said
anything.
They say a lot of things.
If
they throw enough money at her, she might.
Yeah, right.
Well, Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp said no.
Right. Well,
now he's coming back for.
I just heard a rumor he's going to be in that Tim Burton's talking about making another Beetlejuice movie and he's going to be in it. But I don't know if that's confirmed or anything. But I saw that the other day on the internet. But so we've got basically a bunch of background filler shows. The Bad Batch sounds like a neat concept to me. I might have to. It's animated, but I might give that a try.
Yeah, I would say watch the last two, at least watch the last 2 episodes of Clone Wars season 7.
Okay,
because I
hear the Clone Wars is a great show.
That's where Ahsoka finds out about because she's fighting Darth Maul.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of that series, and then that's where Darth Maul kind of spills the beans on because he kind of gets some visions about what's going to happen.
Right.
He knows what's going to happen, kind of deal. So and he keeps hinting her at her about it. But then you get the final scene like right before all the stuff happened and before the end.
So
of the
we got
show.
Mandalorian season 3, and Ahsoka Tano seems to be the one that everybody's really looking forward to.
Yeah.
So we got some stuff to check out, but
I am really hoping that they do a Star Wars What If, though. I'm praying that happens someday.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Well, Visions
sounds like they're already trying to with Visions there.
I don't care about that anime. I'm talking about like
a live action one.
Marvel, not even live action, just Marvel style. Like they bring up a scenario and then they present it for half hour.
Right.
Yeah. I would prefer they didn't, just because Star Wars is supposed to be so canon, stringent.
Yeah.
But maybe.
Man, I don't.
That's the whole point of What If. Is that like what if Luke had turned to the dark side kind of deal.
I don't want a what if because those fuckers they are very capable of then introducing a multiverse.
Oh,
yes.
Man, no. Oh God. No. Yeah. Okay.
Listen,
I'm with Martin. I'm not down with that one.
There's already some of that in Rebels with the World Between Worlds.
Yeah. Please don't remind me of that.
Ahsoka goes into that stuff too.
Yep.
Okay. So let's go around the horn, starting with Martin. Your final thoughts on Andor before we get out of here. What do you think?
Yep.
Andor is it's a must show, a must watch show. Okay, given I am a person that likes slow burners, so I never felt bored. I was hooked up from the beginning, and for me the show just got better and better.
Mm-hmm.
And the writing, the monologues.
Yeah, it's. And what's messed up, guys, is the stuff we have to compare it to so far. This is leaps and bounds above it. You know what I'm saying? So, Matt, what's your final thoughts on Andor?
As someone who is usually critical of Disney Star Wars, I thought it was a good movie, or excuse me, a good series. And like I said, I think the last episode, in my opinion, sort of lost its way for the most part. But overall, I thought it was good. It was the favorite thing that I've seen, from Star Wars in a number of years. So other than maybe Clone Wars season 7, I would say those are the best 2 things that I think they've put out. That in certain parts of Mando, but I enjoyed it.
Okay, John, final thoughts on Andor?
I thought it was very well done. As I didn't mind the slow parts because it was world building. I'm really looking forward to season 2.
Mm-hmm.
The goddamn robots, John!
Oh no, they're back again? No. No. Oh no. Let me get to the comments page. No. Oh, you're psyching me out. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
No, I just got the MP3.
You found it finally. Yeah.
I had to make it while we were talking.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, overall, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it was well done. I liked the way it ended. Even though I know that there's cliffhangers, but I could see all the threads that they're dealing with. And I could see how they plan to make this a multi-season series.
Yep. Okay. Knock?
So, yeah, I did not like this show to start with, especially the first 5 episodes. I didn't, I already said I don't like the flashbacks. I thought there was a lot of stuff that they just kind of mentioned and then didn't go back to. I felt like they didn't need the flashbacks for any kind of real development. Not really. I know that's where he met his mom, whatever. But still, I don't know. I didn't feel like it was that necessary for his growth. Not all shows need a flashback, but the thing that really got me was when it was, especially episode 7. That's what really got me. It was the showing of the layers of the Empire that we never got to see before, and it's one of the things I liked about Kenobi, is that you really saw how downtrodden they were in that show. Now, Kenobi had a lot of dumb things, like any kind of Leia was chased and by grown men and couldn't be caught, which is absolutely ridiculous. But you also saw in Kenobi was, and the one thing that I keep wanting more of, because we guess a little bit, is Darth Vader being Darth Vader. I never thought I would see the day where they let a kid get force choked on a show. They had a kid get force choked by Darth Vader on that show.
Darth, he's been known to kill kids. Yeah.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, and they showed it. Like, they showed him getting force choked and getting killed.
And we did finally get to see Alderaan in Kenobi.
It's just so crazy that he got, and he was such a badass in that scene with beating the crap out of Kenobi, and we never get to see that. I want to see more Darth Vader be Darth Vader. There's more missions that he's gone on that I don't know if we'll ever get that. But you talk about the war. Well, let's see what Vader did chasing down these Jedis that did survive.
That's one of the reasons why I like The Force Unleashed so much, man. It's Vader's secret apprentice.
There's a lot of different machinations that and that's what got me going in this one, because we got to see more of the government side of what exactly they did and how they went about things, trying to create this order for Palpatine, who pretty much just wanted everything under his thumb. So that's what really started to grasp me into it, and then by the end of it, I was pretty much hooked. Especially when they did that prison sequence. One of my favorite shows is Prison Break, from a couple of years back.
Right.
And, the planning that goes into doing a prison break, and so it's it definitely gave me more fascination on the show. And then of course he did turn around, and then he kind of became someone that we were expecting him to be from just a mercenary kind of guy. So it definitely grew on. It's definitely show that when I see someone like not sure if they're on it, I'll be like, dude, you got to get past the first couple episodes. You got to do it. It is worth it.
I'm with Matt. If I'd have just watched that first episode, I probably wouldn't have watched it anymore. But since they dropped the first 3 and we got to see that first chapter of it kind of come to a crescendo.
Even after the first 3, I wasn't just.
Well, I was. As soon as he looked at him with a gun in his face, said, "Don't you want to fight these bastards for real?" I was like, "Wow, man. Okay, this is cool." But all right, thanks, guys. Thanks for your thoughts, and thanks for being here. My personal opinion, it's the best thing Disney Star Wars has done, and the only reason why I watched it is because I think the best movie they've made is Rogue One. I think it's better than anything they did with the trilogy. So the things I liked about it, I love Luthen. I love that character. And the cliffhangers, there was a lot of them. But the one that I want to know, I want to know where his sister is. You can't drop that one. We got to see the sister before the end of the series. Okay. What happened to is it Kino? Is that his name? Knock? The guy from the prison? Andy Serkis's character? What happened to him? And I got a feeling, for some reason, when that happened, I had this vision of Patrick Stewart, or is that his name? Is it Patrick Stewart?
No, Andy Serkis.
The guy that was Jean-Luc Picard. What's his
name?
Oh
yeah, that is Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart. Okay, in Dune, the character he plays in Dune, he ends up fighting for the other side, and he runs into the guy he mentored. And it's one of the best moments of that first Dune movie. And I just feel like something like that's coming. He's going to be in an Imperial uniform the next time we see him, because if he can't swim, he's not getting out of there. And there's Imperial guys alive in there. Okay. So, I just got a feeling he's going to be in an Imperial uniform.
Yeah, but in his speech, he gave his name.
Well, you understand what I'm saying, though. You understand what I'm saying. I had that vision. And God, Mon Mothma, what levels is she willing to go to get this done? I mean, she's pimping out her daughter. Good. Well, but then again, I have a different perspective after hearing the part. I guess I must have missed that the first time that her marriage was arranged, and that's why they were so estranged. But yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of it. I love the whole aesthetic. It's a used world. It's not clean and pristine. And I mean, the places that are clean and pristine, it's where the ISB's working at. You know, that's where it's clean and pristine, and it's that way for a reason. Yeah, and in the prison. But boy, out there in the world, in the outer rim, man, it is ugly. It's an ugly world, and you have to find ways to survive. And I just think it's great. So listen, guys, we're running late. I know Knox got to get off because he's got to go to work tomorrow. He's got a long commute in the morning. I want to thank you guys all for being here. And instead of going around the horn, I'm just going to let people know you can find Matt on Twitter. And you can find him, of course, all these guys' contact information is going to be in the description once I set it up later on tonight. But where I first found him was Whatevercast. You can see him on there, either on the panel or in the chat a lot. Also, he's going to be doing the show with me and Knock. Knock is the co-host for our pregame show for football on Sundays. And he has decided to join us for the rest of the season because a lot of college football is involved on our scouting report, and they're both very knowledgeable about that. John and Martin are on Pop Culture Minefield. They're on the morning coffee almost every morning, unless they've got something going on. And John has his own channel that he live streams on Tuesday evenings, I believe it is, isn't it? Last night
Tuesday.
You were playing. Yeah, you were playing World of Warcraft's new. How did you like the new expansion?
No, it's fine so far. There's a lot that I like about it. It's got a decent feel to it so far.
All right, cool. Well, listen, guys. I know I'm kind of wrapping it up fast, but you guys know where to find me. You hear it at the end of every video I do, and I'm just going to direct you to my channel. Go to my channel because I put up the next State of the Atmosphere, which is at 5:30 on Wednesdays. That thumbnail will be up within the next hour, so you'll be able to notify yourself for it. My schedule stays up there. I have 4 streams a week. They're all on the channel, so go check it out. And for my panel, Knock, John, Martin, and Matt, we want to say thank you. And until we see you again, God bless and keep on keeping on.